Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics opened up their regular season with a loss last night, 117-116 to Philadelphia at TD Garden. The Sixers ripped off a 15-2 run late in the fourth quarter to rally to take the lead, and then Peyton Pritchard missed a pair of shots in the final 5 seconds that would have won it. Tyrese Maxey scored 40 points for the visitors, something Jaylen Brown took note of.
We let Maxey get going, and we got to do a better job, especially one of their better players on the floor. Got to be more attention to detail on him. We let him kind of play free a little bit.
Brown and Derek White both had 25 for the Celtics in the loss. They visit the Knicks tomorrow night. Bruins will try to snap a 5-game losing streak tonight when they face Anaheim at TD Garden. Ryan Johnston and Ken Hodge have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Bruins have also placed defenseman Jordan Harris on injured reserve and called up Michael Callahan from Providence. Patriots are missing safety Craig Woodson and linebacker Elijah Ponder at practice yesterday. They got a home game coming up Sunday against Cleveland. On Thursday Night Football, it'll be Minnesota against the LA Chargers. And the San Francisco Giants made Major League history yesterday by hiring University of Tennessee head coach Tony Vitello as their new manager. He is the first college coach ever to jump directly to this job with no prior pro experience. ESPN reported last night that current Tennessee resident Kurt Schilling is among those interested in Vitello's former job. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Are you actually coaching the game, or it's just
that is? I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston Talk Sports here.
What do we got?
The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
They love the show. In fact, they said, Fred, you're the best.
and Hardy
Who's Taylor the originator?
on 98.5.
Hello.
hey there.
Aloha.
Bonjour.
How are we doing?
What? I'm an animal.
Can we use this for the radio? No, Nick, with your drinking at noon on Mondays.
Well, I tell her the truth, I miss Booty.
That problem is too large for the Sarge.
You know how I feel about clowns on morning shows?
Hey, I'm just saying, hello.
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knock him back.
25 glasses of soda.
Having some fun.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
I like you, and I want you.
Yeah, you're the man.
Which is no picnic to get these podcasts up anymore, apparently. But nonetheless, there was a mistake with the podcast. That was not Nicholas's fault, except for Nicholas's just leaving willy-nilly. And he was replaced by George, who made the mistake. But George carries around a heavyweight title belt. If you didn't hear the show yesterday at 7 o'clock in the morning, he I still don't know what happened. Like, and it's not that he was carrying around the belt. It was what he said about the belt might as well have, it was like incoherent. I don't know if he was trying to be funny, but it wasn't funny. I like George too.
I've never heard George tell a joke or say something, like quip something that, is meant to be taken funny or sarcastically or something like that,
I think he was trying to do it yesterday to little effect, like he was saying Sarge was a spirit animal.
Yeah, but okay, so you can be trying to be funny, but it's still just like nonsense.
I don't think so.
But trying to be funny is an excuse for not making sense. Okay, so being funny is an excuse for a lot of things. If something's funny, I feel it takes a lot of almost everything away. If it's clever enough to make you laugh, then something's there. It makes things a ton less harder for me to find offensive if it's actually funny. Because something's crafted in a way that you found delightful enough to laugh. It's very hard to go it's when things aren't funny where they have problems. What you can try to be funny, but that's not an excuse of not making sense. It's almost worse because it's easier to be absurdly funny. So you have what I'm saying is there's a lot of wiggle room to be absurd. If you're being absurd, then the absurdity of it should be that's funny, and you go, okay, they're being absurd. There's tons of examples of that. I mean, there's a million comedies and things that are completely absurd. But when you come in and you're just, I don't know what you're talking about, like, and it's not. I think I am, like, I've talked to people long enough in my life where I understand if someone's being absurd. And if he was trying to be that way, like, it has to at least have a coherence to it in some sense to at least let you kind of follow along. If it's just random stuff. Anyway, I found it very disturbing. I really did.
George, don't go too far. Don't let George get too far. Where'd he go?
Yeah, he was leaving the room, by the way, when I went.
Okay, George. Yeah, you stay right there, buddy.
Yeah, he wasn't leaving. He wasn't leaving to come in here. He was just leaving.
Well, yeah, because the segment started. And,
well, one of the great
off
things
I go.
that apparently is a no when you tell them to stay in the room is that they have to cut video. And to that, I would say, well, cut the video after the show. Well, I don't want to. Well, okay. Well, and it takes too long. Well, all right. Well, then find someone who will stay after the show to cut the video. I really don't have much sympathy for that because Hardy and I were talking about this yesterday, and I like everyone that works for the show, and I do like George. George is a nice guy. Talked to George after the show, like in the elevator and stuff. I like George. I like everyone that fills in, and obviously I like Nick a lot. I've been with him forever. The thing is that this, though, I understand that that the job requires work. It's very important to us. It is, and that's why you have the job. That's why there's 6 people on the show. One of the jobs is the YouTube and the videos. Now, the videos take skill and a deft hand. All of that does. But the 4 hours you're on the show do not, in my opinion, require a great deal of skill. So what Nick has been smart to do is he learned all this video stuff. He learned how to do all these things, and that makes him a valuable employee. And quite frankly, that's why he still has a job. Not because of me or any of you, but because of Beasley. Like, Beasley wants this digital content. Nick has learned how to do this. I've said this before. Nick has now developed skills where he's got other gigs, like outside of this show. Like, he's developed skills that are real world skills that are going to help him. He's adapting as media adapts. But part of that is, okay, so you'll go, well, Fred, you're not here until like noon. But but what I would argue to that is, whether you agree or not, that's debatable, is that, well, the 4 hours that I'm here, I'm pretty important. Like, and I'm working. Now, it's what I do. Like, I have to be at least somewhat engaged for 4 hours. I would argue that the 4 hours that the person that's required to do the videos is working on air is a very low stress environment. I mean, you're answering the phones when you want to, and you're running the YouTube and everything else, and you're getting the podcasts up, but I don't think that's a high stress situation. So if after the show, you're here for a couple hours, I just think that that's the deal. And then if you get in say you get in at 5, which is early, but say you get in at 5. I would encourage you not to, but if you get in at 5, I would encourage you to get in later. But if you get in at 5, you get in at 5. And 5 to noon is 7 hours. That's not a ridiculous work day to me. So if you feel like you don't make enough money, I completely sympathize. I understand it's tough, but I would love to. I do everything I can, but I mean, I can't. I'm not the one paying you. Whenever anyone wants a raise, I'm the first one to go to management. I'll nag them and nag them and nag them. I'll be your biggest defender. If you need money and you come to me, I obviously will give you the money. But and it's not like people are asking me for money all the time. But I would like to be generous. But the thing is that that's just what it requires. And what's funny about it is it's not my telling them to do it. Like, I'm not the one that says they have to make videos. Corporate is. And I know a lot of that is things that don't even really have anything to do with the show. But that, you understand, that's not my fault or your fault or anyone's fault. It's what corporate wants. So when George left yesterday, the beginning of a break, when he's supposed to be answering phones and things like that, it's kind of like someone else got like offended because I was like, where are they? Because no one was answering the phones, and the guy got offended because he was in the other room making videos, and I didn't think that was valid. I didn't get mad, but I just didn't think that was a valid argument because it's like, well, make them after the show. Well, then I got to stay late. Not late. You got to stay and do work. Like, there's other people at the station that get in at 10 or get in at 9 and stay until 4 or 5. I mean, you know, if you want to have lunch after the show, if you want to, you know, go out and run errands and then come back and do the videos. That's I don't if corporate, I don't think corporate would have a problem with that. But sometime in your day you have to do the videos. That's all.
I like lunch.
Lunch is always good.
I don't have lunch often.
Oh, really?
No.
You don't go to that place across the street, sit in the parking lot before it opens? And...
you can ask me anything on Twitter. I'm not doing it. Nick likes that.
That was sneaky. That was pretty good.
No, that's something Nick always. That's a joke Nick
great.
uses in all the after show
really
meetings.
Good. I hadn't thought of that.
But you understand, like, I understand that all this stuff is a pain in the ass, but it's not me asking you to do it. But we do have a show, and really answering the phones is not a horrible chore. We feel free to chime in. Call me an a-hole. You know I don't care. Call me an a-hole. But I'm not stacking this work on people. I just want the phones answered. That's all. I don't even care if you do the YouTube, to be honest with you. The only thing, and I know Nick's working hard in there, and you notice I don't mention Ryan because Ryan's doing stuff actively to cut audio for the show. But Nick's job, and I'm not even, this isn't even about Nick, this is just about George leaving the room, is that it's happened a couple times this week in Nick's absence. And then if you don't want to do it, then don't fill in for Nick. That's all. I don't know. It doesn't seem like that big a deal to me. There's a very low pressure. You know, we come on the air, and I don't think this job is, you know, I've done it for so long. It's not like, you know, killing me, but there's a real failing in real time element to it, that when you do something and or you get something wrong or you do ask a dumb question, you know, there is a humiliation that comes with that in real time. And every week, a litmus test of how you're doing comes out in terms of ratings.
Yeah.
And when you, not only does it hurt you professionally and monetarily when you don't do well in the ratings, it's broadcast in the newspapers and everything else for all to see. So there is a bit of a pressure being on the air. You know, it gets less and less the more you do it. But then, you know, if someone comes in and they starts challenging you, then it gets pressure again. It's no fun losing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Ratings don't matter until you do poorly. Then they matter a lot.
And that's just everything that goes into not leaving the room while we're on the air. And this doesn't mean you went to go pee during the show. Like, that's whatever. I'm talking about, like, being gone for, like, George left right when the shit, right. Like, why didn't you go to the bathroom during the 5-minute break? Like, we go to the bathroom during the 5-minute break. And just because you're not in there, and even when you're not in there and the phone's ringing, fine, you're not in there. But he was leaving right when the spots ended and we came in. George was out the door.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
So that was my
George,
thing.
don't
go too far. Don't let George get too far. Where'd he go? Yeah, he could have. He was lickety split out of there. Okay, George. Yeah, you stay right there, buddy. Yeah. He was out the door. Does anyone know where he was going?
We're all adults in this room, so
no, I'm not asking you to keep a tabs on him. I'm just asking you if you know where he went.
I'm just adding that in as a disclaimer. So I don't know. Just to speak to what you've been pointing out, Nick spends the entire show. He rarely leaves the control room.
No,
during
I know.
The show.
Yeah.
And he seems to be the only person that, when they're in that position, is able to do that.
I'm not insulting Nick.
I don't know. On the contrary, I am praising Nick because he has figured out a workflow that allows him to do the primary job of answering the phones and still make sure the podcast is done and get the videos uploaded in a timely manner. So again, I what I'm saying, Fred, is I think he's the industry standard in that people should look at how Nick does the job and they should try to emulate that and maybe not leave the control room 6, 7, 8 times during the course of the morning.
Yeah, you're the man.
And in fairness, when there's a problem with the podcast, I don't even reach out to Nick. I know what's going on. I know that the podcast is a huge pain in the ass. Now, I understand that. Like, when there's a mistake, I completely understand it. And I don't even bother Nick with it. Like, if I get emails like the podcast isn't up, I mean, we'll kid around. If I get a million of them, I'll just go, "Hey, Nick, is there a problem with the podcast?" And he'll just go, "Yeah, da 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 da."
Right.
And I'll go, "Yeah," and I understand. I understand when there's a mistake. It's not your guy's fault.
Right.
Like that. It's the system is crappy. I understand that. So it's not like I'm bothering Nick and like yelling at Nick. I'm talking about really just the 4 hours during the show. I don't believe are that stress filled. Like, and I understand there's work to be done, but if you have to do it after the show, you have to do it after the show. Now, if corporate gives you, 8 hours or 5 hours of additional work after the show, that's a little ridiculous. And they should compensate you in that way. And then that's when you got to, and I would hate to lose anyone, but that's when you got to go, is it worth it? But, I mean, if it requires, sticking around a little bit later, I'd prefer you didn't have to do it. It would be great if you didn't have to stick around that much longer. But, I mean, if you got to stick around that much longer, that's what you got to do. That's all. So, what can I tell you? I mean, you got Hardy's running all over the New England, going to these client events and stuff.
In downpours.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's a labor of love. I didn't want to disappoint Keegan by not showing up.
Keegs.
Keegs.
Especially
What's
in
up?
time of need.
What do you love about
Keegs.
Hopkinton?
Keegs.
What do you know? What do you miss?
What do you miss most?
What do you bring with you when you leave the area from here? Bring a Sox hat. Nick, go ahead. Not Nick Jamali, but Nick on the phone. Go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, Fred? Am I on the phone with you? We're talking?
Yeah, that's why you're hearing me. Yep.
Has your dog ever gotten sprayed by a skunk?
Yes, when I
Good
first
question.
moved here. Yep.
So what do you do to get rid of that stink?
Okay, so we went to the 7-Eleven. It was at night, and we got tomato sauce and put it on the dog, and it did absolutely nothing.
Okay.
So
the lady I went to today said the same exact thing. She's like, "You smell like a skunk." I'm like, "I don't know what to do. I think tomato sauce is the solution to the problem." And she said, "No, it's not going to work either." So do you have any solutions for this?
You're just going to have to get the dog washed or go to one of those places where you can wash the dog. It will come off, but it...
Really?
Yeah, it will... Oh, yeah. If you, like, shampoo with like, a scented shampoo, now it's going to smell like that awful scented shampoo. But in my experience,
it smells like coconut, though.
Yeah, but that fake car scent coconut, that awful coconut. So, don't do the tomato thing. It just does not work, in my experience.
You want the quick AI answer for this?
Something, Hardy, I would love the quick AI answer for this.
All right, homemade solution, a quart of hydrogen peroxide, quarter cup of baking soda, and a teaspoon of liquid dish soap.
You're going to have to go to a groomer. I mean, it's like when your dog gets super muddy, sometimes it's easier just to, there's a dog washing place by me where you do it yourself. I did it 2 weekends ago. The dog got muddy. I had to take him into the thing. But
I
yeah.
usually bring them to the car wash, and then let them sit in the back of the truck.
Oh, don't do that. They'll be scared.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, thank God. You had me going crazy. No, but my big advice to you is don't do tomato juice. It doesn't work. That's my big advice to you. Yes. That's
okay, thank you, Freddie. You guys have a good rest of the day. I love you guys. You guys have a great show. I'll see you around. Bye.
Thank you.
That is interesting. When we first moved here, we were walking around Brookline, and it got sprayed by a skunk. And then, the dog loved getting into the bathtub with the,
of course,
with the tomatoes juice.
Sure.
And then we did the whole tomato thing. And then it still smelled exactly like skunk. So, I suppose we could have made hydrogen peroxide and baking soda, which sounds like an explosion waiting to happen. That sounds like something that will froth like the Dickens. Or you could just go to a groomer. But if you have a fluffy dog, then you can take him to a groomer and they can shave him down, and then you got a funny looking dog for a while, which is always a treat. Everyone enjoys that. You get a cat or a dog, they shear them down and then they look all funny and they know it. I like that. Have you ever got a cat where they shave the cat down and the fluff used to do this. They would shave the fluff down and then the fluff would come in like, don't look at me. Don't look at me. She knew. She was like, eh.
Kitty.
Then she was like, eh.
Did you have to do that when she got older? Or
yeah, way more when she got older because she'd get matted like in the summer.
That's what I'm thinking. It would be much more a higher degree of difficulty and a lot more anger.
No. I'm not shaving the cat down.
No, but what I'm saying is the attitude you have to deal with when she's 18, 19, 20. It's a little bit different than when she's 5.
Yeah, once a year, maybe not even once every other year, because I never took her to the vet, but once every other year I would take her, and she would just get quickly shaved. Mm-hmm. And then when she showed back up to the house, there'd be a couple days where she was very self-conscious, and I think it's true too. I think because she'd be like, "Don't look," but then when you pet them. It's a whole other experience for them because they're like, oh, this is skin on skin, baby. Yeah, this is all right. Thank you. Because they always leave the face hair.
Sure.
And then like a little poof on the tail, which I did not care for.
Weird.
Well, you get a fluffy enough cat, you get crap caught in that. This was not the fluff, but you get crap caught in the fur.
No.
My ex-wife, when we first got together, had a cat that couldn't feel its ass. So a lot of times crap would just be hanging out of it.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, because it knew it had to go to the bathroom, but it didn't know when it was done. Yeah, that was a real winner. She's like, why do you like the cat? I'm like, I don't know, the whole a-hole thing. The poo.
Yeah.
That's not really endearing.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sport. Morning Buddies. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night's brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game. What happened? So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. What's going on, Hardy?
All right, Celtics season opener last night, TD Garden. No Jason Tatum, but Jaylen Brown was back after dealing with a hamstring at the end of the preseason, and he looked good. I say 12. He looked good. Oh, what the hell?
Adam's out of the room.
Did he
You're
look
good
good
now?
or not?
Yeah, I'm
Adam's cutting video.
You're good now.
You don't look so good right now.
No, it's bad, but you're good now.
All of a sudden, what is there something going on? No, I don't care. That's fine.
Jaylen Brown pulls up at the elbow on Barlow and sticks the jumper.
You pull up on me, you're gonna get gassed.
Your way to the.
I'll wet you.
Yeah.
I saw this thing about a guy who made acid yesterday because this is what I do. And they're like, he's like, I took money from the mob. And they're like, well, when you paid it back, like, could you stop? And he's like, I was wet.
Oh.
He's like, I was wet. And I'm like, that doesn't even sound like the right vernacular for what was going on. He's like, I was already wet.
Yeah, okay.
John B, find your way to the paint.
Jaylen Brown.
Oh, can we talk about that?
Right down the middle.
Okay, so Embiid can't move, and he's very tall.
He looked terrible last night.
Why do they have him at the top of the 3-point line?
Because he shoots threes.
Jen, I know, but it just
not successfully, but yes.
Okay, so Zach Edey had like some success. And remember, no one thought Zach Edey was going to be any good. He was the best college player. He's like 7'8", 500 pounds. He's a mountain of a man, and he had success in the NBA. Do you think that there's any and we'll get into the threes they took and missed, not good.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that they're almost in? Do you see the logic of every team all the time taking a big slow 7-footer and putting him at the top of the 3-point line and thereby making him completely ineffective?
No, it seems to make more sense to use that 7-footer down low if you don't have one or even two guys to match up with him in the post. Put him down there where you're guaranteed to get 2 points every time he gets the ball.
Like, how many of Wembanyama's 40 points last night were in the paint?
Not many.
Okay.
Well, I mean, do you count blowing by guys and driving in for layups?
Yes.
Yes. Well, he did that a lot.
Okay,
last night. But he also shot threes and made threes.
Because I got news for you. Embiid's not blowing by anyone for a layup.
No, Embiid is different than any other big man. I mean, you saw it in the Olympics where he just everything was free flowing. He'd enter the game and then everything would stop because he would have to wait and you'd set him up down low.
His feet are in concrete.
Right. And then when he's up around the 3-point line, he's not mobile. He's not setting screens for everyone.
That's
he's just
so
waiting.
that's exactly what my point is that he would be at the top of the 3-point line and he'd get the ball and then it was almost like it was hard for him to even distribute it because there was someone right up on him. And then he can't rotate anywhere.
You talk about, well, you talk about Zach Edey. Right now, Zach Edey is a much more mobile big man than Joel Embiid.
Well, that's saying something.
Well, but it's true.
No,
that's the thing. That's the problem.
Doubt it.
That's the problem. Embiid, a lot of big guys, in fact, almost every big guy now, except for Robert Williams, can at least take a three with some sort of confidence. So you have Embiid out there who can't move for whatever reason, and he's not mobile, and he's not contributing. It takes forever. If you're going to post him up on the block, you really have to be deliberate to let him get ready down there.
Well, Embiid had quite a night last night.
You know, minutes restriction. None of the minutes came in the fourth quarter for some reason.
Yeah,
but
that's
all right.
the last we'll probably hear his name in any of these highlights. One name we'll hear a lot was Sixers rookie VJ Edgecombe.
Edgecombe switches to the right. Blows by Tillman and cuffs it on Jaylen Brown. Welcome to the NBA, VJ Edgecombe.
Whoa. Holy. moly.
Okay. The Celtics trailed by 6 at the half.
Embiid shot 11% from the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had 4 points.
Yeah, he wasn't good.
Did he take a three? Because he didn't make any.
He
It's
did.
getting to the point where it's like, I don't know if this guy can play.
He was
It
a
just-
minus 16 on the year.
0 for 4 from 3.
Yeah, so maybe my point stands with Embiid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Embiid specifically. I'm not talking about Wembanyama. The reason I bring up Wembanyama is Wembanyama is such a freak that he can handle the ball and he can do all these things. So my point was how many of his points were in the paint, meaning counting drives, just non-jump shots. And that's kind of my thing.
Embiid is literally a dinosaur. You look at the rest of that roster for Philadelphia. Small, big, quick guys who can get up and down the floor. Embiid can't do that. At least not now. Maybe not ever again. He's always hurt. Always.
Right. Well, when he's not, he's up. I know he's up top of the 3-point line, above the free throw line, just standing there.
There was a play that I remember in the first half last night, and I remembered it because Philadelphia's zipping up and down the floor and everything stopped. They waited maybe 10 seconds off the shot clock and, dribbling the ball on the opposite side for Joel Embiid to post up on the low block on the opposite side so they could reverse the ball around and set him up down low. Now, he spun and missed the shot baseline, but it was so deliberate. And that's the antithesis of the NBA. The NBA is not deliberate in any way, shape, or form, but this guy has to be. I mean, he's a much more of a hindrance than a help. And this guy was the MVP 2 years ago. It's remarkable what's happened to him.
Hard to believe that with all of that, they were still up 6 at the half. The Celtics made a run, though, in the third. Derek White scoring 13 points in the third quarter, 16 straight points. So the 5-point deficit turns into an 11-point lead, and Anthony Simons making his presence known.
Tillman comes up with it. Jabari Walker got a hand on it. Here comes Anthony Simons. Simons switches to the right. Goes by Grimes and throws it down hard with 2 hands as the Garden comes to its feet. Timeout, Nick Nurse. Welcome to Boston, Anthony Simons.
Welcome.
Did he? Simon says, ooh, man, he was all up in that cup.
Can you imagine if Simon says, and they go, woo? You're like, that's not even words.
But you have to do it. You have to say, woo, if you're playing Simon Says.
All right. I think you'd use a word.
94.
I like Tillman playing 16 minutes.
90.
He was on the floor at the end.
Recruiting Izzo. Get in there.
So you figure up 10 points with 9 minutes left. Game over.
Oh, that's insurmountable in the NBA. Wow.
So stupid.
Up 10 with 9 minutes to go.
Woo! There's no turning off any game early anymore. You used to at least be able to turn off an NFL game and watch something else. You can't. That's for a long time. You haven't been able to turn off the NBA. I'm like, this means nothing. Philadelphia claws their way back.
Clock rolling, 122, 121, 120 to go on opening night. Maxey to his right. Tillman in front of him. Push pass into the corner. Oubre lines up a 3 and knocks it down, and the Sixers have the lead.
Just talked about what he could do.
12-2 run down the stretch for Philadelphia. They got the lead.
Swell. 112-111. Now, they led by as much as 4 with 22 seconds left. But VJ Edgecombe, who was fantastic last night, missed some foul shots. So there's 9 seconds left, and the Patriots are...
Celtics,
they're only down 1 now.
Yep.
Let's go. Now, they get the rebound. Missoula wants them to hurry their asses up the court.
Yep. That's exactly right.
Press.
Jaylen Brown instead calls
76ers were pressing.
Yeah, calls the timeout. And I think Missoula was pissed about that.
He was.
He's like, now I got to draw up a play?
Yep.
Oh.
Well, no, Missoula, and we saw this in the playoffs last year, wants to go.
Well, you saw it in the press game when they played the press.
Oh, that's right.
Go. That's what I'm saying is that 76ers were pressing because that's the way you do things.
Maybe
the joke I was trying to make earlier is that everyone was pressing. It was time to move quick.
Right.
So
got to really stick it to them.
I don't know the answer anymore because maybe Missoula's onto something. Maybe be better off just going up the floor because the play that they drew up, oof.
They'll return to the floor with Brown, Simons, Hauser, White, and Pritchard. Neither team has a timeout.
Glad we left all this in.
We're going to win Battle of the Broadcasters here on opening night. Derek White will trigger the inbound. Floats it back to Pritchard. Pritchard left-hand dribble coming strong in the paint. Leans in, scoops, no good. Scramble for the rebound. It goes out of bounds. The clock stops with 1.6 to go.
What, Pritchard?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. So that was your whole plan? Get her?
Yeah.
You're gonna spread the whole floor. And you've got this wild formation out there.
You said that Pritchard was the best when you talked to him.
I think he's really good. In that moment, I don't think I'm out of line. And Pritchard might even agree with me that maybe you want your Finals MVP from a few years ago to have the ball.
Well, he's Craig Elo. He thinks someone else is going to get it. Elo takes it.
All right, that was a mistake. All right, you got it to Peyton Pritchard.
White guy.
I know. I'm aware.
He drives the paint. He misses the shot, but you've got another crack at this.
He was in too deep to pass back out. Tried to step through, and Grimes got a piece of the shot going up. 1.6 to go. Simons will trigger the under out of bounds. Celtics down by 1. Simons inbound. Pritchard pump fake. It's in the air. No good. And the ball game is over. And the Sixers come to Boston and survive on opening night.
Stink.
On the baseline, twice to Peyton Pritchard with Jaylen Brown and Derek White and a very good offensive player, Anthony Simons, on the floor.
Hey, you guys love him.
I do like him.
Sixth man of the year last year, Fred.
Yeah.
Sixth man of the year.
Stay on the bench.
You get
I'm kidding.
2 shots at it, and both times it's Peyton Pritchard with the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's how it developed.
What are they doing?
They're going to the open man.
I don't know. This is one thing you saw last night. This is going to be a work in progress. No one's really sure who gets the ball at the end of the game. No one's really sure.
Jaylen Brown, there's your answer.
Well,
Jaylen Brown gets the ball at the end of the game.
I think Jaylen Brown should get the ball at the end of the game, but I think you'll see Derek White with it a lot. I don't think you'll see Peyton Pritchard with it a lot. But the other part of the problem is not only did they lose a lot of talent, they lost a lot of talent defensively too. Defending in the fourth quarter. Philadelphia scored 42 points in the fourth quarter. Defending in the fourth quarter, especially with Tyrese Maxey and this kid Edge come on the floor, they couldn't stay in front of him. And the other part of it is, situational awareness. Maxey picked up his 5th foul less than 30 seconds into the fourth quarter and stayed on for the rest of the quarter and scored 15 points after picking up his 5th foul. So there's a lot of work, and this team isn't like the last 5 years. This team has obvious flaws to it. Anthony Simons, very good offensive player. He's one of the few guys that can just shake his own man off and go. Defensively, he is challenged. You saw it last night. Right. And he's got to be on the floor at the end of the game.
So let's hear Joe Mazzulla's answer to those last 2 possessions for the Celtics.
Joe, what were you looking for on the last possession? 2 looks for Peyton there. What were you looking for?
Just looking to get the ball into our playmakers' hands and make a play. So we got the ball into the paint, got a decent look. That's all you could do is get it to those guys, and they gave us a chance to win.
You got it to one guy twice.
What you should do is at the end of every game, the press, you go, why were you not pressing like you did against us? Why did you not run full court press the entire game like you did against us? Oh. Were you trapping like you did against us? Boop, boop, boop.
What? What?
Mr. Mazzulla.
Oh.
On the last play.
B-Rob.
On the last play.
I got it.
On the last play. On the last play. Oh, I'm sorry. Someone's going to have to reboot him. Ski bop boop boop. All right, so we'll be back. So suffice it to say.
Joe, what were you looking for on the last possession? 2 looks for Peyton there. What were you looking for?
I don't think that was B-Rob.
Nah, it sounded too natural. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Philadelphia 76ers beat the Celtics 117-116 on opening night at TD Garden. Derek White and Jaylen Brown, 25 points apiece for the Celtics. Peyton Pritchard missed a shot at the buzzer that would have won it. Tyrese Maxey, a game-high 40 points for the Sixers. Celtics off tonight. They visit the Knicks tomorrow night. Bruins will play at TD Garden this evening against Anaheim. Bruins have lost 5 in a row. Ryan Johnston and Ken Hodge have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7. Here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Jordan Harris placed on injured reserve yesterday. Michael Callahan called up from Providence. And the Patriots play Cleveland and Foxborough this Sunday. They were missing Craig Woodson, Elijah Ponder at practice yesterday. Sports Hub headlines are powered by Joyce Cooling and Heating in Nashua. Time to schedule your heating tune-up to avoid surprise breakdowns. Plus, save up to $4,400 in rebates and tax credits on new Lennox systems. Schedule at joycecool.com, celebrating 30 years. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
You're listening to
Sports Hub.
Jamming it out at the coffee shop. Hey, would you leave now? All right, we are Toucher and Hardy. Your Celtics lost last night. What else going on, Hardy?
More NBA action. Minnesota Timberwolves in Portland to play the Trail Blazers. Anthony Edwards.
And switched on to Jeremy Grant. Shot clock is down to 6. Still beyond the three-point line. He shoves off, steps back, three ball. He got it! 39 for Edwards. Wolves in front. Big-time shot by Ant in the clutch.
Yeah, and he would add 2 more to finish with 41 as Minnesota gets the win on the road at 118-114. We mentioned Victor Wembanyama earlier on. He had a night.
13 boards for Victor. Attacking. Goes strong right by AD. Left-handed slam. 35 for Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, he abused.
You see the video of that?
Yeah, he abused Davis last night. Was it Jay King that's now following Wembanyama?
No,
the
it's
Athletic?
Jared Weiss.
Jared Weiss that we used to have on, covered the Celtics. Now the Athletics got him like exclusively covering almost Wembanyama. Because Wembanyama had a very interesting offseason. Did you hear about that? Like he went out to I don't know, Japan or something like that to like study whatever's going on over there in terms of it wasn't Taekwondo, I can tell you that. Or what is it everyone does, the wrestling thing?
Jiu-jitsu?
It wasn't jiu-jitsu.
Push hands?
No one does push hands, but only the best chess masters.
Shoot fighting?
What's shoot fighting?
That's where you get down like really low and you're like, whip
it's
your legs
awesome
around
to
and
watch.
You know it's supposed to be good for you.
There was a shoot fighter in Tekken. I think in Tekken 3.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good call.
All right.
You know, do you know what's supposed to be good for you as you get older? Not our age, but older. Tai Chi.
Have you been getting a couple of those videos on your feed lately?
I have not. I have not reached that point.
Oh, my God. Every other video I get is like, the most in-shape guy in the world is like, do you work out? No. What do you do? Low-impact Tai Chi.
I see those
Liar!
people. I know. I see those people every Saturday on the Native Commons, center of town, when I'm walking the dog. Every Saturday morning, right before the farmer's market, 12.
I took Tai Chi. I would like to take Tai Chi again sometime.
Of course you would.
Yeah. It's good health.
That's why you're ripped. That's why every year you get more fit.
That's right.
Wembanyama, 40 points, 15 rebounds. Spurs beat the Mavericks 125-92. Cooper Flagg do anything last night?
No, he wasn't good.
10 points, 10 rebounds, but had a terrible shooting night.
So Wembanyama, got hurt last year, and I guess it freaked him out. And his whole thing this offseason, just to expand on it a little bit, is that he realized like the frailty of his career. So his whole thing was like, I want to be the best, and I'm going to travel the world. I'm sure there was a crew with him, which I would be interested in seeing. So he traveled the world, like learning mental disciplines and things of that nature. It's pretty interesting. And so apparently he's like ready to go.
We were talking about big men shooting threes. Victor Wembanyama, 15 of 21 from the floor last night, made 1 3. And scored 40.
I thought you just said that he was shooting a lot of threes.
He has been. He did last season, but not last night.
So so it kind of lends to my point is that the San Antonio has found a way, and they won by a lot, against a team that's not supposed to be bad. In fact, I saw someone pick Dallas to make the finals.
That was in Dallas, by the way, that 30-point win.
And, there's not a ton around him. And not a ton. There's a little bit of talent, but not a ton. He was everything in that game. And, if they got him moving all over the place, he's scoring in the paint. I don't know. Embiid, I don't know what they do.
Yeah, Wembanyama, let's see, 9 makes in the paint last night, 3 misses. And as John just said, 2 threes last night. He made 1.
And that was against Anthony Davis, who's one of the best defensive big men in the league on the planet.
Right.
Jesus.
Now Wembanyama takes the ball up the floor, which I would contend is more because he can go coast to coast, which he did, but if you can handle the ball, like, and I get it. This goes back to the Embiid thing of just him standing outside the three-point line where he's has no effect. I know that spreads the floor. I'm not an idiot. I understand that spreads the floor and then it clogs the middle if he's in the middle, and I get all that. But if you can't handle the ball and you can't even really pass, you're just handing it off. Everything is him taking one dribble and handing it. It just seems like I don't even know why you're out there. I know he rolls to the basket, but...
Yeah, he's also very good at flopping.
Well,
Embiid.
that's good.
Embiid's awesome.
I think I could flop.
He's like at a Marcus Smart level with flopping.
Well, I think
He's
that
very
I would flop. I would take the impact to my upper back. I would keep my head above so it didn't hit the court. I think I could flop. I wouldn't want to take a lot of contact.
I just think it's very funny that a 6'3" guard will lightly brush him and he'll,
Well, they're at ball level.
Flail back like he'd been shot.
No, they're at ball level. Yeah. I mean, you could get hit in the nuts. So, yeah, Wembanyama, MVP odds I have to imagine are not so great for him because you got to think he's MVP.
Yeah. Let's talk about Drake May here for a moment, who spoke yesterday. One of the subject matters of the week, even though there was a caller yesterday who said, we weren't thinking about this Cleveland Browns game correctly because we had forgotten about Myles Garrett and, how that was going to factor in. We have been thinking about it. It has been a topic of conversation. Drake May has been thinking about it.
Yeah, Myles Garrett. Yeah, he's one of the best players in the league, and somebody you got to know where he's at, and it's a lot of credit to him. He plays hard, and he's disruptive, and he's good in the run game and the pass game, and it's going to be a tough challenge.
What about you getting out there in space and running the ball and getting your head taken off there, Drake? You gonna cut back on that?
I think there's always emphasis on sliding for me. I think they've said it since the beginning of the year. I think from last year, taking hits and knowing being out there for the next plays, most important. And I think, credit to Dobbs was maybe the play of the day. He came in here and, evaded a sack and threw a dime. It was good to see that from the blue tent. I was looking through the little top of the blue tent and saw it. So, other than that, no, I think sliding and knowing, when to get down and also knowing whether it's a third down or near the end zone.
All right. So that is.
Do you lose interest in what he's saying almost immediately?
I think we've already been conditioned that he's not going to say anything.
Yeah, which is good. He shouldn't.
No.
I like that he doesn't say anything. Good kid. Keeps it benign. Real dumb.
Who do we got tonight? Who's our big Thursday night Amazon game, John?
It's the Chargers in Minnesota in L.A., I believe.
Yes. Well,
every loss the Chargers gets is good for the Patriots, if you want to look at it that way. The Patriots are in a position where if it's an NFC, AFC game, you go for the NFC. That's a good place to be because every loss for a decent AFC team is another rung in the playoffs that you are. That's one way to look at the season. You're not 15-1, you're not 15-2, even though I guess you could be. But, right now, you get...
15-2 is on the table.
That's what I said. I said, I guess you could be. It's on the table.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you have the Jets at the Bengals, a game you'll be viewing in person. Aaron Glenn not giving up his starting quarterback yesterday.
Well, Tyrod Taylor's day to day, so the decision's not entirely in his hands.
Oh.
So
he's not being cute. He just literally doesn't know who he can put out there.
It's like people are like he's getting like nasty with the media, but it's like, well, have you been here? Like that's not nasty with the media, and also like, what do you want the guy to do? Yeah. I have a lot of sympathy for Aaron Glenn. The defense sucked. Now the defense good. The offense was good. Now the offense sucks. It's like, what do you want him to do?
I think it's great. Woody Johnson hugs him every day, tells him he loves him.
Well, listen, Woody Johnson needs to talk more.
It's not a smooch fest like RKK, but I'm sure it works.
I think it is time for Woody to weigh in.
I really do. He's a really good owner. I like the way that he really seems to know the game too, which I enjoy. Boy, Nepo garbage man is that Woody Johnson. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics lost their regular season opener last night, 117-116 to Philadelphia at TD Garden. Tyrese Maxey scored a game-high 40 points for the winners, and in all, Philadelphia scored 42 points as a team against Joe Mazzulla's squad in the fourth quarter.
I think there was a couple transition baskets that we gave up, either from just not crashing through the right lane or them getting out ahead of us and getting that. We gave up an offensive rebound three. Maxey dribbles under the basket, hits Barlow in the corner. Barlow hits the Grimes. He gets a catch and shoot three from there. So just a breakdown in some of our defensive stuff, and we just have to be better.
Derek White and Jaylen Brown scored 25 points apiece in the loss, and Peyton Pritchard missed a baseline leaner at the buzzer that would have won it. Celtics have tonight off. They'll play the Knicks at Madison Square Garden tomorrow night. Bruins play at TD Garden tonight against Anaheim. Bruins have lost 5 in a row. Ryan Johnston and Ken Hodge have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 the Sports Hub. Defenseman Jordan Harris placed on injured reserve yesterday. Michael Callahan called up from Providence. Patriots play Cleveland and Foxborough this Sunday. Craig Woodson and Elijah Ponder were missing from practice yesterday. And in baseball news, the San Francisco Giants yesterday hired University of Tennessee head coach Tony Vitello as their new manager. He is the first college coach ever to get a job like this with no prior experience, and ESPN is reporting that Kurt Schilling is among those interested in Vitello's former job. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Veterinary Urgent Care Center. With 8 locations in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, VUCC offers compassionate, convenient, high-quality care 7 days a week. Walk in or book an appointment at veturgentcare.com. Veterinary Urgent Care Center, urgent care for your pet's urgent needs. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
May is under center, off set up.
Drake May.
Throws down Drake rolls well, breaking traffic. Off balance, throw it to the end zone. Caught by Joe. Pass is going to be.
Drake May plays on one station in Boston.
Here's another Drake May moment. Drake May.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
I know. No, you don't know.
Everyone agrees that I'm the only one who's not wrong.
Right or wrong, they're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
This is an interesting thing that we're doing today, in that I was in the car and Apple Music said, "We have a mix for you, Fred." And I said, "Okay, let's listen to the mix." And it was essentially like a rap mix. I don't think I like rap music that much anymore. Now, why? I just, from, when I was little until, recently, it was expanding and growing and changing, and like it was artistically like revolutionary all the time. And this isn't an old man yelling at a cloud. This is just, this happens. I just think that, genres of music get repetitive and kind of uninteresting, and I just don't think anything I think Kendrick Lamar is like a really good MC. I just don't find his like flow or like what they're doing in terms of beats to be particularly interesting. And I just wonder, like a lot of genres of music, in just, to me, if it's just become redundant and kind of like I'm not into it anymore, because like flows are different now and stuff. And like, I understand Tyler, the Creator, is like really like a really interesting artist. I just don't happen to like him. But I wouldn't even put him as like necessarily like a full on hip hop artist anymore. Like Frank Ocean isn't like a hip hop artist anymore. Like in terms of just straight rap, am I the only one who finds it to be getting that just there's nothing that interests you going on anymore?
No, I agree with you there, and I agree with the first part of your point as well, where an art form like this is going to evolve over time, and it's going to splinter, and you're going to have different realms of creativity that spring out of that. That's all a good thing. It's just sometimes that stuff doesn't really appeal to somebody like you or like me or like anybody, really.
And I don't think that if you're like singing, that's necessarily hip hop in the way that I would define it.
Sure.
Is that like, in terms of like flows and all that stuff, like it seems that nothing's happening anymore that's very interesting to me.
Part of it might be because of because so you can pick on like the styles like mumble rap or whatever else, but I mean, no matter what the genre of music is, a song needs a hook, right? And I was talking to someone the other day, and they were telling a story about working with like this young artist that they were kind of giving them some feedback on their music. And he's like, well, you got to write stuff with a hook. And the kid was like, what's a hook? And he's like, well, it's the chorus of the song. And the kid's like, what's a chorus? So you have like the point I'm trying to make, Fred, is you have to have some sort of musicality to the music that you're making. If you don't have a background in music, you need to have at least some working knowledge of music in order to craft a song, whether it be a rap song or a rock song or something along, any sort of genre. There needs to be music in the music you're making.
Well, I told you that I was looking at something, and they were talking to a producer, and he was like, the guys I'm working with now are like, don't care about lyrics.
Right.
Which I get, because they even feel like, what the hell else am I supposed to do? I think they feel stifled with the whole format. And so now they're going, I'm not so interested in the lyrics anymore. I want to like expand it as, maybe even like a musical thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I'm kind of over it. And it happened to like the Ad Rock. He says that I just don't the genre is not that interesting to me anymore. And he's like, I'm older and that might be it. But if it's, it's not there's nothing happening that I'm overly interested in. I think it was The Alchemist that was working with a guy.
Okay.
And The Alchemist was saying like, yeah, these guys like, and they're just like, I don't so much. The Descendants are my favorite band, but I don't run around listening to the Descendants so much. The Descendants are my favorite band, but I don't run around listening to the Descendants every day.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll come to town and I won't see them. Like, there comes a point where, there's it's just enough. Like, I don't want to listen to Gangstar anymore. I don't really want to listen to Wu-Tang anymore. I have no desire to see GZA do Liquid Swords live. Like, I just don't. I've heard it. It's 20 years already. So it's not just new. 30.
Yeah,
Jesus
sometimes,
Christ.
yeah.
But it's not just the new stuff. It's just like I'm sick of the old stuff. And nothing's happening that I'm interested in. So, but what you can do at that point in your life is you can even go back and listen to genres of music that you weren't particularly interested in, and then you can get into that, and then it's exciting and new again.
Yeah, but those don't I don't seek out. That just kind of like happens, and it's more with bands more than anything. Like I never liked the Smiths or Morrissey when I was in college. I'm like, this isn't really rock and roll, and it's not just cool. It doesn't really do anything. And then I've started hearing songs, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, and I really like this. I didn't at the time, but now I'm hearing it in a different way, and I can get into this.
And part of it is that everything's available and everything's on YouTube and everything's on streaming services, is that now that there's not the act of having to get it and finding one band and going, wow, this band's on SST. What's SST? And then going into the record store far away and finding every SST album. Well, this sucks because it's the Minutemen. But this is good, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And then there was so much to discover, and then you didn't know what a band looked like until you saw them live. Or you had to wait around for MTV to play something, even if it was like an established artist. Like now that everything's available and I can listen to any hip-hop song of any time, at any time, I'm not overly... it's enough. I've reached my saturation point with it as a person. But
Pitchfork has put together the 100 best rap albums of all time. So
how many Pitbulls?
Don't blow the top 10 right away. Trying.
I'm trying. Well, that's the idea. I want to get as many out.
All right. How many of the top 10 can you guys name?
All right.
Cool as Ice. Vanilla Ice. So I did not like this album, but The Chronic has got to be one or two.
Dr. Dre's The Chronic.
Okay.
Pitchfork doesn't have The Chronic.
Whoa,
okay.
I
didn't like The Chronic.
Public Enemy, Fear of a Black Planet.
It is. Oh, wait a second. Why is it?
There's something wrong with the long list that was given to you.
Oh, good.
I'm noticing mistakes on it now.
You spent about 15 minutes setting this up.
These are two totally different. The top 10 is totally different from the.
Yeah. Let's focus on the top 10 list that I gave you and not the long list.
But I'm looking at the Pitchfork list right now.
Right.
And
it said so this Pitchfork list says Dr. Dre's The Chronic is number 2.
All right.
But it's not. It's number, not number 2.
So
Can someone explain to me then how you guys have the list? How are we going to work this? If the pitchfork list isn't the pitchfork list, then how are we going to do this?
So just this one? 12?
Just the single sheet with the top 10.
All
That
right.
is correct.
All right, great.
The top 100 list alphabetized.
Dr. Dre is not in the top 10.
So they're going to be cute. This means that there's somebody.
Well, a Tupac record has
I would
got to
say
be on
there
there.
are at least 4 cute ones in here.
Tupac, All Eyes on Me.
There you go. That is number 2.
All right.
All right. So don't tell me Lauryn Hill counts as one of the top albums.
Jesus.
Number 7.
Oh, God.
The
All right.
Miseducation of Lauryn
I
Hill.
hated that record.
Public Enemy, Fear of a Black
No,
Planet.
it won't be. It would be Takes a Nation of Millions.
Both of those are on the list, not in the top 10.
Okay.
Okay. So I didn't guess Public Enemy.
All right.
All right. Ghetto Boys. No.
Ghetto Boys, We Can't Be Stopped is in the top 100,
But
not in the top 10.
Ghetto Boys was the best one because F 'em with the sample was just Scarface saying F 'em.
Yeah.
All right. So a Jay-Z record's got to be on there. The Blueprint. Oh, Nas-O-Matic. Nas-O-Matic has got to be on there.
Nas-Illmatic is number 5.
There you go.
All right.
Eric B. and Rakim paid in full.
No,
Not
On the
in
list,
top-
not on the top 10.
Okay. The Low End Theory, Tribe Called Quest.
On the list, not in the top 10.
Whoa!
All right.
Is Midnight Marauders by Tribe Called Quest
On
in
the
the top
list,
10?
also not in the top 10.
All right.
There's no De La Soul record, is there?
There is one De La Soul record on the list. It is number 17, and it is Balloon Mind State. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Come on.
I like that album.
This is easy.
So this is like
Okay.
Balloon Mind State. It's not a great album, but when
it's
they
got Break of Dawn.
earlier this year, they finally got to work the deal out with Tommy Boy where they could put all of the De La Soul albums on streaming services so people can kind of hear them for the first time. So that
Mad
album's
Villain.
kind of getting a bit of a renaissance, but
Mad Villain.
Yes.
Mad Villain, is that in the top 10?
it is number 10. Yes.
Okay, Mad Villain is number 10.
Mad Villain is number 10.
All right, Mad Villain is my favorite
Okay.
rap record of all time.
All right.
All right, so I like that.
NWA Straight Outta Compton.
That's not going to be on there. Yeah, okay. Mad Villain is my favorite rap record of all time. All right, so I like that. All right, is there a Jay-Z record in the top 10?
No.
There is not a Jay-Z.
Is there an Eminem record in the
There
top 10?
is one Eminem record on the entire top 100 is not in the
Is
top
it the
10.
Slim Shady LP?
I believe it is the Marshall Mathers LP.
Oh, the Martha
Yeah.
Masters LP. All right.
There's also one Beastie Boys record in the top 100. You can guess which
Paul's
one.
Boutique.
Yeah,
And
Paul's Boutique.
where did it rank?
Well,
I would put it number 2.
but the way they're setting it up, it's got to be in the 30s somewhere. or
Very
something.
good, John. Yes, number 30 something.
All right, it's
which is ridiculous because even if you were doing that was
38.
oh jeez.
the Dust Brothers. That was revolutionized everything. All right. So okay, so Tupac, they put the Lauryn Hill thing on there. They had Mad Villain, Nas-O-Matic. Okay, let me think. Do they do anything like giving the founding fathers any of the credit? Like, is Raising Hell on there?
Yeah, the
There
Run
you go.
DMC's self-titled is on there.
Not in the top.
Yeah.
That's Rockbox,
Yeah,
right?
not in the top
I
10.
got that album when I was a
Yeah,
little kid,
so-
and I went, "This sucks."
So there is. Here's the
Dude,
thing about
the
this.
first time that I had heard about Eric B. and Rakim like all the time, and the first time I heard Eric B. and Rakim, I'm like, I don't think this is all that good.
Oh, I love Rakim.
I don't.
But that's on the
I
list.
do,
It's
I
not
like
in the
that.
top 10.
Okay, let me think. Okay, so the Wu-Tang 36 Chamber.
Yes, that is on the list, not on the top 10.
There,
All right.
So let me
give you a hint on number
Jesus.
one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
There was a gentleman who once said you could park the Jeep, pump this band, and spark a leaf.
Wait, okay, so Notorious B.I.G.'s got to be on there, and it would be
Just stop. He's not in the top 10.
No.
You can park the Jeep, pump.
No, it's not going to be Dog.
Park the Jeep, pump blank blank, and just spark a leaf.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Rhymes with Jeep.
Mob Deep.
There you go, John Wall.
I
Number
said
one.
Alchemist.
The infamous.
Number 1 is Mobb Deep.
The infamous from 1995. Which is a
I
great
said
album,
Alchemist,
but it
I
is
said
not,
The Alchemist
yes.
before. Who obviously produced, I would imagine, a bunch of these songs.
There's an album in the and Fred, you know that I'm a pretty big like golden age hip hop fan. There's an album in the top 10, Rich Gang, the Tour, Part 1, 2014. I've never heard of that.
I've
artist.
never heard of it either.
I've never heard of that album.
Esoteric, have you heard of Rich Gang? You tell me.
Is this Snoop in there?
No.
Yeah,
No.
Snoop Doggy Style is number 100.
Yeah, no, that's not in the top 10. No, there's no way.
Kendrick Lamar, did we ask about him?
No, you didn't.
Kendrick's got like 3 albums.
Did we because we already said Wu-Tang doesn't have one in the top 10, did we say that there is a solo effort?
There is a solo
There's
effort
a
from
solo
a
effort
Wu-Tang.
from a Wu-Tang member at number 4.
Okay, so it's not Liquid Swords. Okay, is it Ghostface Killer?
There you go.
Supreme
Clientele, yeah.
From 2000.
Okay. That's better than 36 Chambers, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
I like
It's a good
Ghostface.
album,
Yes.
but it's not.
I think
No.
Fish Scales is his best album.
And these are all much better than Paul's Boutique.
Well, you just like Paul's Boutique.
I
As
really
do I. I love Paul's Boutique. Paul's Boutique, my favorite album. of all
Are we
time.
missing any?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. This is a garbage list from a
All right,
garbage.
Missy Elliott, is she on there?
Pitchfork
That's
has
not a
always
bad
been
guess.
garbage.
That's all I can think of.
Outcast.
Oh, but it's going to be it's not the one with B.O.B. on it. It's what Outkast album is
It's
on it?
Aquamany.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's
not the really good album.
The ones you missed also from 2006, Clips, Hell Hath No Fury.
I've never heard of it.
Never heard of it? Of course. And number 3, the third best rap album of all time, Juvenile, 400 Degrees, 1998.
Well, there you go.
Thanks, Pitch.
I love Outkast, but that's not their best record.
No.
I don't think so at all. If it gets too popular, apparently, that's not. They don't like that anymore.
It's not good.
All right. Outkast is a band I'd still listen to, a group I'd still listen to now, too. But very few now. I'd still listen to Paul's Boutique if it came on, but I would not listen to probably Check Your Head.
Oh, see, I listened to Check Your Head in its entirety in the last 2 weeks I have.
I certainly
put it
wouldn't listen to Hot Sauce and whatever the committee was.
Oh, Hot Sauce Committee Part 2.
And I even like
no part one.
I like the song that Too Many Rappers with Nas, but Nas is just so much better than them.
Is Kid Rock's Grit Sandwiches for Breakfast in the top 100?
Number 78.
No, because it's Pitchfork, and they wouldn't put that in there. They wouldn't honor the great Kid. All right. Well, is anything from Mac Miller? Not Mac Miller. Is anything from the kid that made I Love College in there?
Oh,
Macklemore?
Oh,
No.
damn
Well,
it. Who
Macklemore's
was that?
probably-
He had a funny name, yeah.
No,
Asher Roth. Thank you, Ryan.
Asher Roth.
Roth.
Asher Roth. That was Barstool rap.
Yes.
That was when Barstool used to have like the worst rappers of all time play their parties. Asher Roth. I love college. I love college.
Do you?
We're drinking in college.
Oh, nice.
We're having sex in college.
Are you?
It's a lot of fun. This is something for the kids at Ole Miss. Because I'm not black, you can listen to this. All right. Very good. We will be back in just a moment with Gary Washburn.
Fred, what's it like to work with Hardy and Wallace?
What a golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on the Sports Hub.
I think the fans are going to have to get used to being hovering near that 500 level. Like they start out with New York, and then they go to Detroit, and then New Orleans.
We're being scored for Charlotte than against them.
The key to winning the series was
Carolina's in rally, I guess.
Scoring more goals than the Bruins.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why you couldn't understand that.
Well, I hung up on them, and that
because
raised the ire of many people.
That's your defense mechanism.
So Gary better be on his toes, or else this is going to go sideways quick.
Uh-oh.
Gary Washburn covers the NBA for the Boston Globe. Gary, it's nice to talk to you. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, guys, great to be here.
Appreciate it. Last night, tough fourth quarter for the Celtics. How long is it, in your opinion, going to take for this team to gel? Was last night a bit of a symptom of not playing together, or how did you look at that fourth quarter?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of indicative or symptomatic of what happened last year, too, blowing big leads down the stretch. I mean, they were up 9 with like 3:44 left, and it looked like they were in control, then suddenly they weren't, and they couldn't score, and the offense got stagnant, and they didn't know who to go to down the stretch, and they gave up offensive rebounds. So some of the stuff that we've seen before when they had Jason Tatum in the lineup is what we saw last night. So I thought it was a moderately okay, like a scale of 1 to 10, like a 6.5 performance. I mean, they had a chance to win the game. If they get a break or two, they probably should win the game. If Tillman gets that put back, if Pritchard makes that little floater, we're talking about different things here. But I think that it's going to take 25 to 30 games for them to figure out who they are. I mean, obviously they got the rotation, but they've got to figure out who to play where, and they got to figure out, let's say, who can remain in the starting lineup, who's going to get more minutes eventually. Can you really go with Tillman for that kind of role? Is Hauser a starter in this league? It's a lot to figure out.
Not knowing who to go to down the stretch, I get that, Gary, but can you at least figure out maybe not to go to Pritchard 2 times in a row with the game on the line? How does the ball not make it into Jaylen Brown's hands at least one of those possessions?
Yeah, I think defensively, well, Jaylen's got to demand the ball, and Peyton is not a natural point guard, and he's got to make better reads in that situation. And it just turned into like, okay, what the hell are they doing here? And I know Celtic folks and fans have complained for years that Tatum did not need to take all the game winners, but at least in that situation, you had someone to go to.
People complained about that?
Yeah, I don't remember that.
I
remember.
Okay. Remember, he wasn't all that great at game-winning situations.
Right.
I think people were saying, well, go to somebody else or mix it up, or and White and Brown were both available on that second to last play, not that heave, that little jumper he took in the corner. So they've got, I mean, it's a learning experience. There's a lot of teams that got pounded last night, and, Atlanta lost by 20 at home. So it's easy to overreact to opening night, but then they go play the Knicks, good luck. And then they play the Pistons. So, as I said, this start could be slow.
Overall, though, the thing that worried me more than anything else was the defense, especially in the fourth quarter. And you lose Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, you're going to see some regression. But I'm watching Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe score every time they had the basketball in the fourth quarter. They just don't seem to have the perimeter foot speed to stay with people. And Anthony Simons, as good as he is on one end of the floor, is still a liability at the other end.
Yeah, I agree. But remember, guys, they haven't figured out how to guard Tyrese Maxey in 5 years. I mean, literally, he cooks them every time. And when he gets to his right hand and he's great at the floaters, Edgecombe, I don't know what to say about that. This is a damn rookie. His first game, he goes for 34. They didn't scout that. I mean, they're looking back in front of Missoula like, what the hell is going on here? We didn't, we thought the kid might have 10, 12. The dude goes 14 in the first quarter. That's he goes LeBron on him. It's so I mean, maybe that might be an exception. I mean, obviously now, I'd be fascinated to see what Edgecombe does in their next game, because I'm sure the scouts are now out. There's a report on him, and it was, as Jalen said, it was to let him shoot threes, and they did, and he hit 5. To me, they haven't figured out ever how to guard Maxey, and they just got beat by 2 guys, but they also got out hustled, some offensive rebounds, some putbacks, things like that. So, there's a lot to work on. There was some encouraging facts. They played a really good third quarter. They've got a lot of guys who play hard. They just got to play well.
Okay, you mentioned the starting lineup. How do you see that evolving, and what are the mixes and matches that you think could take place there?
See, I don't know. To me, Hauser, they've got to figure out what to do with him, because if he's not hitting threes, which most of the night he wasn't, I don't know how you have him on the floor, because he's not going to stop anybody doing anything defensively, right? He's not a playmaker. So, and there was a couple of stretches last night. He had 2 offensive, I think, illegal screens in the fourth quarter. It wasn't a good night for him. And can you give him starters minutes, or do you go with somebody do you go with Boucher, or do you go with even Minot? I think they're going to have to figure that out. I think they're giving Hauser obviously the start because he's a veteran guy. He's been around a few years. But I think all that's going to be hashed out. I cringed at Xavier Tillman 3-pointers. No, Xavier, stop. It's one, you got one game in. Don't do that no more. But as we saw, they took 43 threes, almost half their shots. So this is a team that's going to kind of be like it was before. But they got to knock those shots down, and the right guys have to take those shots.
How do you feel about Pritchard at the starting lineup and Simons off the bench? I didn't mind it because Simons is instant offense. He kind of injects some enthusiasm once he gets on the floor.
Yeah, I thought that was a good role. Simons early in his career came off the bench, so he can get used to that. I do think he can be a spark plug, and he played mostly down the stretch. So he played almost starters minutes. So I don't think it's a situation where it's like a demotion for him, even though he started the last few years in Portland. I do think it's a good role for him. Pritchard's got to prove to be a distributor. He's got to prove to get the ball around more than just, knock down long threes. So, this is going to be a learning experience for Pritchard to get those major minutes and be a starter. And I said last night, it didn't go well in the last few minutes.
I think Pritchard could have been up against it this year based on the fact that he's no longer slipping under the radar. I think I've asked you about this before. I know I've spoken to Max about it. He had the advantage of, being on the outside, and then he would, worm his way through the paint and all of a sudden score a layup. And where did this kid come from? Eventually, that was going to catch up to him.
He also now is bumped up in the pecking order on the offense. That's another part of it.
Teams would recognize his abilities, and now as a starter, well, there's no more ignoring him. So he's going to have it, I guess, tougher in multiple ways this season.
Yeah, he's their third offensive option at this point. He's part of the scouting report. So teams are going to know, obviously, more than just watch out for the late quarter heave. They're going to know how to defend him. They're going to be more physical with him. The good thing about Payton is, as he showed at times last night, he's physical. He can create space. He's not afraid to score on bigger players. That's what he's done his whole life. So I think he'll be fine. I just think he's going to have to get used to that expanded role, and he's going to have to get used to being more of a distributor. Last night, that the final 2 plays just didn't go well, but. They were a bucket of. Xavier Tillman had that wide open putback. He short-armed it. There's just a lot of things that could have gone right that didn't.
Did you see anything? It's the first game of the season, but you knew how this roster was going to be in the pieces that they lost. Where do you think, now you've seen a game, but how does this relate to what you saw them lose in the offseason and where they kind of rank in the East, in your opinion?
I think they're in the middle of the pack in the East. But if you look, I said, Toronto, we don't know. There's half the teams in the East we have no clue. We don't know about Philadelphia. Obviously now Edgecombe's a problem, so they could be better than we thought. Milwaukee, we don't know. They beat Washington last night. There's a bunch of teams. Toronto, we have no idea. They beat Atlanta by 20. I think the Celtics are in that mix of 7, 8, that type. Could they get up to 5? Maybe. But I think they're going to be competitive. I think they're going to be a playoff team, or even a play-in team or a playoff team. But they just got to get it together. I mean, they've got to figure some things out. They've got all these new guys, but I wasn't discouraged in saying, man, this team's going to the lottery, but they definitely have to get better.
All right, were you in the media versus Celtics?
Was not. DNP did not.
Smart man.
What'd you think of that whole thing with the pressing and the trapping?
Oh boy. I think as we've learned in the 3 years he's been here, Joe is an unusual guy. Okay, the way he thinks is not the way most folks think, and I think for him that was a bonding exercise. That was a way for him to see the competitiveness in the media. I think he kind of views the media as a bunch of people just asking questions and writing stuff. He doesn't, and I understand this is in the 90s where you had the Globe and the Herald and all these papers trying to cut each other's throats, and there was all these reporter beefs, and you could just see the competition. Nowadays, it's a little different, right? It's a lot of younger reporters, it's a lot of friendliness. So Joe doesn't see that, the competitiveness. So I do think it was an exercise. Now, did it go wrong? Did it go viral? And I think, did Joe cringe when it went viral? And someone from the Celtic staff posted the score online, so it wasn't a reporter who did that. Yeah, I think maybe the organization talked to Joe and said, Joe, it didn't go well. You might want to, kind of explain your actions here. But I just think I've seen so many things that say that's just Joe that I'm not surprised. Like, we've all seen it. Joe is Joe.
See, I think Joe Mazzulla is smart, but I also think he's in a bubble, and that his intelligence sometimes in interpersonal things seems a little off. Like, you're friends with the chess master, you're doing push hands, you're not, a 4-star general. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a hard-on. Like, you were trying to bully the people. And, yeah, you're better at basketball. Congratulations. You know what I think, Gary, is that someone should have just elbowed him and took his teeth out and then go, do you respect that, Warrior? That's what I would have thought.
I think he would have liked that. That's the thing. I think he would have liked that.
Yeah, well.
I think him going, I mean, we've seen him come to a media, session a couple years ago with an eye. He had to leave a game in his first year with a bad eye from a pickup basketball game. So I think he would have liked that. That's the thing. When you think, well, you should have, just pushed him down and knocked. He would have loved that. He would have smiled. So that's Joe. I just think that's going to be like a new reality show. That's Joe.
That's Joe.
That's who we have here.
Just throwing him off mountains. That's Joe. He's like the Wile E. Coyote. All right. Well, Gary, always love having you on. Thanks so much, and look forward to talking to you some more throughout the season. Appreciate everything. Gary Washburn from the Boston Globe. Read him today. Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, guys.
All right, appreciate it. Caller number 10 to the contest line. Gary didn't like that game. Caller number 10 to the contest line, 617-931-0985. Will score a pair of tickets to see the Patriots take on the Browns this Sunday at Gillette Stadium. We'll be right back. Here are the headlines.
Essentials.
head baseball coach, and he has moved on to coach. He's going to manage, and he's going to manage San Francisco. And am I wrong, John? You might not have this off the top of your head, but is he the first college baseball coach to directly go to a manager's job in major leagues?
He is. It is the first time ever a college head coach has gotten this job with no prior pro experience.
Yeah, he completely turned that program into a dominant.
Won the College World Series in 2024.
Yeah,
they won 60 games that year.
Tennessee's a really good sports school. I mean, academically, let's be honest. But but I'll give him credit if you do well enough in Tennessee in high school, because I'll meet people in Tennessee and East Tennessee. Like I'll talk to, bartenders and stuff back when I was drinking. And, their kids can go to University of Tennessee if they did okay in high school. So I will give the University of Tennessee credit for that. Like, it's good that you can be a bartender in East Tennessee and your kid can go to University of Tennessee. I don't give them enough credit for that. Like, I think that that's like especially in this day and age, and it's like they can afford it, and it's good. So I have no problems with the University of Tennessee. It's not like the world's greatest academic institution, but look, if people from, very middle-class homes, which is very rare now, can send their kids off to a university and they can get a college degree, that's a good thing. So anyway, he's the new manager, not Buster Posey, the catcher that's the GM now, hired him, Posey.
Yeah.
But not Buster Posey. Buster Posey.
It is Buster Posey.
I have Buster Only and Buster Posey.
Right.
I just got in my own head.
That's right.
All right, so anyway, so he's there. But you don't know this, Hardy, but who's thrown their hat in the ring for the manager's job of University of Tennessee?
According to Buster Only, among those interested in longtime pitcher Kurt Schilling.
Give him the job. Give him the job.
Schilling lives in Tennessee now, you see, so he wants the job.
Right. And
okay. Number one prerequisite.
Gotta live
met.
there.
Yes.
Gotta live there.
I'm practically here.
No relocation. You don't have to spend any money on relocation. For me, I'm just over here.
Okay, so the Knoxville News Sentinel has the top 10 people to take that job. And strangely enough, they're all head coaches of baseball programs or assistant coaches of baseball programs. Big ones, too.
Yeah.
You got yourself in East Carolina, who's a good baseball program. You got Virginia, who got that Payon kid.
Tennessee won the national championship 2 years
Right.
ago. Made the Super Regionals, which is one step away.
Alabama and
from the College World
Florida's
Series.
head coaches
This past season.
rumored. So look if you could get Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, any of these head coaches to pivot to Tennessee. Now Tennessee paid this guy, I think I know this for a fact, more than any other college baseball coach, and he deserved it.
Yeah.
But so let me see. I can get someone having a ton of success at a massive SEC program, or a guy having tons of success at a program like Troy that normally wouldn't have the success. Like East Tennessee State made the regionals last year.
Yeah.
Like real established fellas. Nah, take a shot at a lunatic sitting in literally sitting in his basement playing with models while he talks on the internet.
Have you seen what he lives on a farm? He feeds goats now. He's just,
good.
He's just
Stay
kinda
on the
there.
farm.
He's just kind of
stay on the farm. I mean, we don't have to get into the litany of lunatic crap that he did.
Yeah.
But and I was going to make a joke because there's also something about the FBI, and I was going to go, why don't I just go be the head of the FBI? But that's not so ridiculous because this job apparently is training for the FBI now. And if you're a podcaster, you just scoot right in.
Yeah.
But now the FBI is after someone.
Yes. Former Celtic Terry Rozier arrested this morning.
Current Miami Heat player.
Arrested this morning as part of an FBI sports betting gambling probe. This is according to ESPN. The Eastern District of New York and FBI Director Kash Patel is going to hold a press conference at 10 a.m. this morning. You don't have the director of the FBI hold a press conference unless this is something incredibly serious.
No.
So does not look good for Terry Rozier. We'll find out at 10 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, because, and I'm all for it. If you can't have athletes gambling on their games, because that is if I'm in charge of one of those leagues, or if I'm covering one of those leagues, or I'm playing in one of those leagues, that's the one way that the money's going to dry up. Is if people think that everyone's in the bag, and that the reason that broadcast television surpassed cable television in total viewers. This last whatever ratings book it was is entirely based on live sports. Live sports is the one thing keeping these networks alive, which is why billions of dollars are going into these leagues for the rights to these. It's ridiculous. And it's not only about advertising at this point. It's about staying, on people's minds, like staying something that people need. And the whole reason is that it's live, and the whole reason that it's unscripted, and the whole reason is that the outcome has not been predetermined. And every time I hear a broadcaster or anyone say, why can't they gamble? Go ahead. That's your big idea. You're going to have nothing to cover anymore. Because because you know what happens every time there's a bad call, every time that there's a player misses a shot. Why am I paying for something if these guys are all in the bag, even if like a couple of them are? So you got to stay very on top of it.
Cash and tickets for events, just getting there, not cheap. Not cheap at all. You're spending a lot of money just to show up and watch. And you think, okay, why am I spending all this money if it's predetermined? Why the mystery is out of all of this? Why would I spend $50 to park, $300 for a seat? Why would I do that?
They've done a pretty good job, though, of pouncing on these things.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that I'm glad the FBI is involved. And the thing is that you go, well, these guys make so much money. How can they get into it? Well, you start getting into a major hole and you can't climb out of it. And there's a lot of pressure on you from people that can put a lot of pressure on you to get something done to make this money back. And you don't have the money. This is how you get put in a position where, okay, what do I have to do? Well, do this or else there's going to be massive consequences for your family. I don't know if that's what happened, but you can put yourself in that position. You can have all the money in the world, but you start falling into a big enough hole. A lot of money means a lot of bets. A lot of bets means a lot of money. A lot of money to the wrong people gets a vig on it, gets juice on it. Get juice on it, you start falling into a major hole. You've been bad with your money, $10 million, $10 million. You get $10 million in a hole. How do you want to get out of this? You can either, sell all your crap and give us this money, which they probably don't want you to do anyway because it would probably raise some red flags. Or you can, tank a couple games and then you're off the hook. Well, and then you can justify it to yourself. Well, if I do this and this, no one's going to know. And what's it really matter? We play 82 games, blah, 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 blah. So it'd be interesting to see how that pans out. What also is interesting, guy from Machine.
Fred, hello,
guy from Machine. The Halloween is coming up. The last time we talked to him, he was dressing up, and now he's dressing up again.
Scruff.
Thank you. That is where you find gay lovers. And guy from Machine will be joining us in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hardy. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics scored 16 straight points in the third quarter to take the lead last night, but Philadelphia ripped off a 15-2 run late and hung on for a 117-116 win over the Green at TD Garden last night in the regular season opener for both teams. Derek White and Jaylen Brown scored 25 points apiece for the Celtics, but then Joe Mazzulla saw Peyton Pritchard miss a tough baseline leaner that would have won it at the buzzer.
Just looking to get the ball into our playmakers' hands and make a play. So we got the ball into the paint, got a decent look. That's all you could do is get it to those guys, and they gave us a chance to win.
Tyrese Maxey scored 40 points for the Sixers in the win. The Celtics' next game is on the road against the Knicks tomorrow night. ESPN is reporting that former Celtic and current Miami guard Terry Rozier has been arrested this morning. This is part of an FBI sports betting probe. The FBI will hold a press conference at 10 a.m. The Bruins play at TD Garden tonight against Anaheim. Bruins trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. Ryan Johnston and Ken Hodge have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Michael Callahan called up for Providence yesterday. He replaces Jordan Harris, who's been placed on injured reserve. Patriots play Cleveland and Foxborough Sunday. Craig Woodson and Elijah Pond are missing at practice. And in baseball news, San Francisco has hired the University of Tennessee's Tony Vitello as their new manager. He's the first college coach ever to get the job with no pro experience. ESPN is reporting current Tennessee resident Kurt Schilling is among those interested in taking over for Vitello in college. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the new Hearty Helpings at the 99 restaurant, like the homestyle chicken pot pie, the classic Yankee pot roast. You gotta love the nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
The Bruins play here.
Oh boy, I guess it's time for more Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
He did the mash. He did the monster mash. The monster mash. Honey, it was a graveyard smash. He did the mash. Have you seen him? It got on in the flash. He did the mash. He did the monster mash. Dorothy, click your heels. Click, 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 click. He's a wolf. He looks like he's hungry. Okay. I'm sorry. He did the mash. That was a gay version.
It is a gay version. Just very quickly, we were talking about University of Tennessee and getting in there. Just to give you some perspective, UMass Amherst State School. Hardy's daughter goes there. Tell the people what you just told me.
For the state school tuition and the savings, we started with Katie a little late. I think she was maybe 4 years old. But before we started her 529.
Oh, boy.
Because I tell parents now, not unsolicited, but if they, we're start talking about kids. Andrew Callahan's having a kid, and I say, start at 529, put something in it every month. If you have grandparents and they want to give a gift, ask them to contribute to that. We saved pretty aggressively and saved for about maybe an 18-month span after BCN ended, when we couldn't afford to put anything away for a time. We put in money to our daughter's college fund every single month, and pretty aggressively for the last 4 years, where we ramped it up and it was at least $1,000 like every month, and didn't take luxurious vacations, not driving a new car every few years, save for this college education. And after 14 years of pretty aggressive savings, we have just enough to cover almost the 4 years at the state school. I mean, she got into other schools, and we were really happy for her and proud of her. But had she gone to, say, Northeastern, I said, that's great. We'll do it. I don't want you to think about the cost. But in the back of my head, I said, we don't even have enough for the first 2 years. I mean, it'll be gone. It'll be gone. And that was after years and years and years of saving.
So I texted a person I know in Tennessee. He said, you could go to University of Tennessee. He said, yeah, they got $2,000 in financial aid. He said, how much was it? $9,000.
Oh, my God.
So you got a problem with that. I don't know what to tell you. You know how much for Alabama without financial aid? Would you like to know? It's like $7,000.
Yeah.
So get out of here with that. More expensive in the Northeast. It just is.
Yeah.
It's just way more expensive. Middle class family. Very difficult to get into UMass Amherst and pay it without some significant financial aid. In the South, at these, I mean, the Hope Scholarship in Georgia, they gave you a scholarship if you got over like a 3.5 to go to an in-state school. You went for free. So get out of here. There's a big difference. All right. Guy from Machine, there's a big difference between him and anyone else is that he's the best. Far and away the best. Guy from Machine, hello!
Fred, hello!
Oh, hello, everyone. Hello. Guy from Machine. Guy from the Sandbar.
Yeah, you have the Sandbar, which is where?
That's in Revere, Massachusetts. 381 Revere, Massachusetts. Revere Boulevard.
Okay.
I believe it is.
I was going to say, if you put on an envelope 381 Revere, Massachusetts, it may not find you.
Oh, it'd find there. You just put Guy from Machine.
He'll find
care
me.
of.
Believe me, he'll find me.
It would find you. How have you been doing?
I've been great. How was your summer?
Well, we talked to you in the summer. Because remember, we talked to you before you had the big 80s party.
Oh, that was my other twin.
Okay. Well, if there was two of you, we'd be in a lot of trouble. You understand what I'm saying, Guy from Machine?
Well, I guess you're in trouble now.
If you found a guy that looked just like you, would you want to hook up with him?
No, not really.
Oh. But you're so handsome.
Yeah, but I want somebody opposite of me.
Okay. What do you look for? Like, what kind of, like, do you have a type?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Oh, that's a great question. I was thinking about, what's his name, John? John.
Yes.
When are you going to be available?
Well,
if his wife told him to bang you, he would.
I'm currently married. Guy from Machine, I apologize.
Well, I mean, but these things don't last forever.
That's true.
Well,
as I already have found out once, that's very true. So,
are you a good cook, John?
What's that?
Are you a good cook?
Not really.
He's if you want shrimp scampi.
No, I can do that like nobody's
cook.
business, but not really a good cook.
He's a self-proclaimed foodie, yet
Yeah.
he really can't name any foods.
no.
So that's
we'll be eating out a lot.
well, he likes chicken strips.
Yeah.
you like going to like?
Give me the nuggets in the microwave. Man.
No,
I'm cold.
John is a very sophisticated guy, but you like John like he's got glasses. He's like he's not what you wouldn't consider conventionally handsome. Not ugly, but he's not conventionally
he speaks
handsome.
very well. He speaks very well.
Thank you.
So, are you more of a between the ears guy or like a physical appearance guy? Do you more personality or more appearance?
No, it's a combination of both.
Okay, so guys must hit on you all the time at the bar. I'm sure ladies do too. But like when
they do.
Yeah, and so when you like, is it important? Like how? Because this is interesting because I would have no idea how to go up to someone anymore and like in approach them without knowing them and try to catch their ear. Do you like someone to like be funny? Do you like them to show interest in you in terms of like asking you questions? What do you enjoy?
Well, I enjoy the same thing you enjoy.
Well, I don't know what to do. No one comes up to me. I'm ugly. I'm not kidding. No one comes up to me. I'm very ugly. So I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Oh, no, you make the eye connection.
Yeah. And then they look away and then with disgust. And what, after they vomit,
No,
do you
they
come up to
don't.
them?
Huh?
After they vomit, do they come up to you?
No, not really.
Okay. No, because I'm saying that when they look at me, they vomit. I'm being self-deprecating, Guy from Machine.
Oh, no, it's okay.
How did the 80s party go?
Oh, it went very well. Oh, my God, we had a good time.
Was it? What was the
place was
highlight?
packed.
What was the highlight? The karaoke? Was it the dancing? What was it?
It was both.
Guy from Machine, you're incorrigible.
You really paint a picture.
Listen, I paint. Sometimes you say the least. keep them in suspense sometimes. That's better that way.
Well, that is an old show business adage. You always leave them wanting more. And obviously we always want more from you, which is why we keep asking you to come on the show.
Okay, so is Halloween a wild night over there at your place in Revere?
Well, this one would be. And it's kid-friendly, too.
Oh, really?
Okay.
So people... Go ahead.
They come in at between 7 and 8. 7 to 8 will be kids' little fair.
Now, will you serve them alcohol if they because it is a kids' affair?
Juice. They get juice, punch.
Oh, so you're thinking like
and candy,
like a pineapple and vodka. I understand.
No,
grapefruits and vodka.
That's the adults.
Okay, just the adults. So the kids come in and so now you get in the spirit of these things. Now, is this a multiple night affair or is this just you just need one costume?
No, you can just have one costume because we're going to do it in the evening. We're not going to do it in daytime. This is too much.
Okay.
It's too much to wear, especially if you have a wig on or, you know what I'm saying? Costumes can get very hot.
Right.
So you don't want to wear them too long.
Okay, so I don't want to spoil the surprise for anyone. I assume you'll be in costume on Friday night.
I will be in costume.
Okay, so you don't have to tell us.
Most definitely.
Okay, you don't have to tell us what you're going to dress as this year unless you want to. I'm more interested in what was your best Halloween costume ever?
Oh, you know what was my best? When I did Steve Harvey.
Oh. Did you have like the 9-button suit?
Yeah, and when I did Steve Harvey, man, I'm going to tell you something.
You did Steve Harvey? Oh,
yeah,
that's
and I
shocking.
went downtown with it, and I could not get to the bar to get in. I wanted a drink of water. I had to take so many photos with everybody.
See, I don't know how you pulled that off. You're in much better shape than Steve Harvey. Like, did you?
Yeah, but I gave the look of Steve Harvey.
Okay.
Now, what did you wear?
The younger version of him.
What did you wear?
Version.
What did you wear to be?
Suit.
Okay.
A suit.
So did you wear like a Steve? He has a collection of suits. Did you wear a Steve Harvey
But a
suit?
flashy suit. It was a flashy. The tie was flashy. The handkerchief was flashy. I wore a watch, a nice watch.
A guy from Machine. They weren't stopping you because you were dressed like Steve Harvey. They were stopping you because you were knocking them dead.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it wasn't. You just went as a handsome, well-dressed guy from Machine.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Did you even put a mustache on?
Good.
Did you even put a mustache? Did you even put a mustache?
I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
So you just wore a suit with a mustache and said you were Steve Harvey.
Yeah, and I wore and I carried like a puzzle. You know, one of those game shows. I carried that with me.
You carried like Monopoly and said, "Hey, look, I'm Steve
Yeah,
Harvey."
Monopoly, like a Monopoly thing of what he does. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and then you carried a red rose because you were Steve Harvey, right?
Well, I did. I think I did have a rose, but I don't know. I gave it to somebody. I gave it to a girl.
So, do you want to give us a preview of your Friday night costume?
Well, put it this way: it's going to be a singer.
Okay.
Somebody that's really, really hit the industry so many years, and the music is so
Billy
well.
Joel.
No.
Okay.
Just think of someone. I don't know. How can I say this?
Is it a man or woman?
Man.
Okay.
I don't do drag.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Guy from Machine, dudes dress up as women on Halloween. It's not a sexual.
I mean, that's not considered a costume. Drag is not considered a costume.
On Halloween, it is, Guy from Machine. You're splitting hairs here. I don't like it.
Oh, you know what? That's for the straight world, but the gay world, we don't play that game.
All right. Well, use this as an education. Don't use this as a chance to lash out. I don't know that. Guy from Machine, I did not know that. That's my own ignorance. I'm trying to be. I like you. I'm not trying to offend you. All right.
No. But I think actually, the straight world thinks that if they dress up like a girl, that's a custom. But in the gay world, it's not.
Right.
Yeah. That's just
right. I am familiar with drag. I've been at drag performances.
Yeah.
I lived in Midtown Atlanta. Oh, Guy from Machine.
You dressed up as drag?
I didn't dress up in drag, but I lived in Midtown Atlanta. Half the places I went had drag shows, and I wouldn't even know they were going to happen. Go to a restaurant and it was a drag show serving you.
And I'm very familiar. The Birdcage is one of my top 10 movies all time. So I have a pretty firm understanding of what drag is all about.
Oh.
Okay.
I like that.
You're familiar with Midtown Atlanta. Have you ever been?
Yes, I've been to Atlanta. Yes, it's beautiful there.
Okay, so my friend in the late '90s, he moves to Atlanta. He goes.
Okay.
Him and his brother helps him move. They get into this house in Midtown Atlanta. He goes to the bookstore. He's like, "There's an awful lot of gay porn here." He goes, "This is weird. Like, it's just a bookstore. There's an awful lot of gay porn."
But in the back room, right?
No, right out with all the other stuff. But I'm going somewhere with this. And so he goes, He goes, "That's weird." He's not offended or anything. He goes, "Just wow, there's a lot of gay porn."
You
for
don't
a bookstore.
normally see it like right up front like that.
Yeah, I mean, at a bookstore, there was just like a lot of gay porn.
Okay.
And so he's like, whatever. So, they're up late. They're out. They wake up in the morning, and there's a big ruckus outside of his house. He's like, what the hell's going on? And he goes out, and he looks out the window, and there is a float of these guys in these buff guys in overalls baling hay on a float. There's another float where there is guys in rough trade gear waving to the crowd. Little does he know it's Gay Pride weekend. He doesn't even know. And he goes, "Is this every Saturday morning in this neighborhood?" He just thought on Saturday morning. He's coming from Detroit. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. So he's like, "Is this every Saturday morning?" But Gay Pride was a fun time. There was no doubt about it. It was a fun time in Atlanta.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like the YMCA, huh?
I'll tell you what, Midtown Atlanta. Gay people moved in. They cleaned that place up. No lickety split. I loved it. I took advantage of it. It was the best place in Atlanta to live. All right.
Can I ask you one question, John?
Yeah, John, let me ask you a question.
What can I do for
you? Did you stay at the YMCA?
Wait, say that again.
Did you stay at the YMCA?
I did not. I'm sorry.
It's fun to
Come on now.
I know it's fun to stay. It's fun to stay at the YMCA, but I did not.
I'm just curious if you did.
Is the YMCA still like a gay hang?
Yes, it is. I believe so. It is. Yes, it is.
Can I ask you a question? Sometimes when I go to the gym and I'm in the sauna, there'll be a guy on one end of the sauna and a guy on the other end of the sauna, and they'll start looking at each other, and then they'll start having a conversation across a row of people. Are they gay?
No, they're just hitting on you.
They're not hitting on me, believe me. I feel actually a little bad about it. Yeah.
They want to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, so right, like if you're in a sauna and you are just focused on a guy like 5 guys away from you, and you're like making eye contact and talking, that's a hookup, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, guy from Machine. I know it is.
That's a hookup.
And I don't mind. It's just like I'm like you're just having a loud ass conversation. Over get next to the guy.
I think.
Yesterday the guy moved next to the guy. Eventually,
you've tapped into another resource that Guy from Machine could be for us. Say, for instance, Guy from Machine. My uncle Terry divorced his wife, moved in with his friend Scott, who we would bring to every family function, and they would hug and kiss each other all the time. Was he gay?
No, he's bisexual.
Oh, okay. Oh, see, that's
all right.
This is valuable.
Well, Guy from Machine, is Halloween your favorite holiday?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's the best. You can be whatever you want to be.
Okay. What are your plans outside of working?
Working where?
At your job. The restaurant.
Other than the party this Friday night, do you have any other Halloween plans?
Yes. No, actually, I canceled the one I was going to attend because it was too many functions going on, and we was going to do a function out in the suburbs, and it was just too many going on. Too many other house parties, so we just canceled it.
No, but are you going to go to house parties?
I may. I'm not sure yet. It just depends how I feel.
You're a bit of a homebody now, Guy from Machine, aren't you?
Not really.
You live out in the middle of nowhere.
You got that right. I live with the cows and the sheep and the deer and the raccoons wave at you when you pull in the driveway.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
What about the country? Why did you want to move out to the country?
Well, it gives me a little solitude, so I can just kind of recharge my batteries and then go back in the city.
You're like Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fortress of Solitude, right?
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, Guy from Machine.
little space. I need that space. Solitude was I don't be around no people, and it's just quiet. And then I get back. Once I recharge, I go back into the fire again.
All right. Well, Guy from Machine, I think that you're the best. We all think that you're the best. Where can people see you this Halloween?
I will be at Bianchi's at the Sandbar, which actually is the Sandbar, 381 Revere Beach Boulevard, Revere, Mass. Now, from 7 to 8 will be kids. It's kid-friendly. Remember, kid-friendly. And it's going to be a pink vinyl band, a 5-piece live band. No cover charge, and guess what? Free parking. Now, if you could get in the city, you got to park your car in the garage, cost you $60, $70, $80. And then you got to pay for cover. You come here, you don't pay for nothing. No cover, no parking fee. Hello?
Does the manager or the owner of that bar appreciate all the publicity that you do for them?
Yes, they do.
All right.
Okay, they've given you credit for that?
They're amazing.
They're amazing. But they know that you
Yes.
come on this show and that you plug the
Yes,
business.
they do.
And
I told them I do, yeah.
You had to tell them? All right.
Yeah, well, I let them know what I was doing. Yeah, I didn't want to feel like I was imposing, and you know what I mean.
So I would think that they would like free advertising.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a pretty good deal.
Well, yeah. So, but I like being on the air. I like talking to you, John.
Oh, great.
Well, Bo,
I'm very touched.
He's hyper-focused on you today.
I know. I'm jealous that John is getting like most of the attention from.
No problem. A handsome man
That's
chooses
okay.
to talk to me.
That's okay.
All right.
Is Fred there, too? Is Fred there? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah,
No,
it's
he's not
wrong.
here. We'll leave him a message if you want.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here, Guy from Machine. I'm the one talking to you the most.
John. Okay, all right. I won't. You get a little jealous, aren't you?
You know what? Honestly, a little bit. I mean, you usually take interest in me. I actually am a little jealous.
I am interested.
All
See,
right.
I like some of this, yeah. It's more mental.
Yeah, just spreading the love around.
Stimulating.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Guy from Machine, everyone come see you there in Revere. Thank you so much for the time.
But one more thing. Make sure you dress up in something that you want to dress up in. Remember, Halloween is about expressing something that you want to be but you can't be. Just for one day.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Remember that.
So John would go with someone who's lost their virginity. Very good.
Oh, really? Really?
It's just jealousy, the guy from Machines. That's
yes,
all that is.
yes, it
Jealousy.
is. It is. As a matter of fact, I had to knock you down a
That
peg.
little
'cause you were getting too
backhanded
much
swipe
credit.
was because you talk more to me than you did to him.
I will admit it. It absolutely
Yeah.
is. All right. Guy from Machine, we love you. Thank Guy from Machine.
Hey, John.
Yes.
You're quite amazing.
Thank you.
Stop it, Guy from Machine. I know you've gone
Look
too
in
far.
the mirror and say that to yourself all the time, and you'll feel better about yourself. You feel better about yourself already, but I'm just saying.
All right, Guy from Machine. It's enough with John. You're making everyone
listen,
jealous.
John, text me later. John, text me later.
All right, he will. He'll get your number from Nicholas. All right, thank you from Guy from Machine. We do have to go. Thank you, Guy from Machine.
You're
You're the best.
amazing. Thank you. And thank you, audience. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, Guy from Machine. There you go.
Sweet treat burn. Well, on my way. I don't know where I'm going. I'm on my way. Jerry, taking my time. I don't know where. Goodbye to Rosie, the queen of Corona. Seeing me and Joey down by the schoolyard. Hello. Seeing me and Hula down by the schoolyard.
I'm a good singer.
Toucher and Hardy, those scamps. They'll be right back on the Sports Hub.
You do.
Nothing happened.
He's got the same questions.
Where is the story?
And the same opinions.
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Dave Richard is the best fantasy football guy on the planet. Follow him on socials with @DaveRichard. You can hear him or see him and hear him every morning on YouTube. Search Fantasy Football Today. He's on CBS Sport Network 3 times a week with Fantasy Football Today. Dave Richard is brought to you by 495 Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Lowell. It's the Drive into Fall event where you can save up to $14,000 on an all-new Ram Light Duty, Heavy Duty, and ProMaster vans. Get to 495 Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Lowell or visit 495ram.com. Dave, you have been a savior the last 2 weeks. You have been on your game, my friend.
Well, thank you, Fred. I try to be on my game every week. It's kind of part of being employed by CBS to do this type of thing. So I'm happy to have helped. What I was going to say is we're 7 weeks into the NFL season. That's basically the halfway point for the fantasy regular season. Most leagues start their playoffs in week 15. Is your team dominant or desperate?
My
no
team
one's really out of it unless you're 0-7.
No, I only have 2 wins, but I have the 6th most points in the league. So like I've just had bad luck. But and you know what? We'll take 3 calls for Dave today. I've had some people reach out saying they would like calls.
Good idea. Nice.
So we will take 3 of them.
Man of the people.
I don't even forgot what our calling number is.
617-779-0985.
Okay, there you go. Well, I never give it out. I only give out the 9311. So 617.
You haven't talked to listeners in a long time, but you're doing it for me.
I don't solicit for phone calls because I really don't care. I want them to happen organically. You understand? Like if someone calls in and they have something to say about what we're talking about, that's fine. But we don't do call-oriented segments. Like
Fred's not interested in anyone else's original thought, Dave.
Well, they could make me look bad, and I don't need that.
Yeah.
I mean, they could correct me or do something like that, and I don't need that out there. You know, best to live in this bubble. But I will allow 3 calls today. We will allow that. All right, but I am in desperate straits because this is my big bye week, and I also have some injuries. I'm very heavy on running backs. I've tried to make trades with people, but they're not interested. I have 4 running backs that could be of use to people, but they're not. No one's interested in trading with me. But we'll talk about that off the air. But I need receivers like nobody's business, my friend. You got to help me out here. I need a couple of them. Now, you gave me one last week, even though I won. You gave me one last week that had 0 points.
Which one was that?
The kid from the Rams. One of the kids. From
Tutu Atwell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I don't know what they were thinking, not involving him.
Yeah.
But it was what it was, problem. And that definitely stunk. I'm sorry about it. So here I am. You're complimenting me. You're saying I'm on my game. And the Tutu Atwell recommendation, I might as well have recommended Larry Centers to be added to your fantasy team.
You had the kid from Carolina that was like an absolute star. So, I mean, what am I going to do? I mean, you know, not last week, but the 2 weeks before that. And then you said not to play him this week, which I didn't. And that was smart. All right, so give me some receivers. Let's go. We got to cook.
I'm pretty sure Tez Johnson's already been picked up in your league, but if not, he's still somebody that's got all kinds of upside, outside receiver with great speed in Tampa. He scored each of the last 2 weeks, and he's done it in different ways. Once on a deep ball, once on a screen where he weaved his way into the end zone. He's fun, and I think that receivers like that, who are at least are going to play a lot and command a lot of targets, they should be in fantasy lineups as at least a flex. So Tez Johnson would be that guy. Here are 3 other wide receivers that might be out there that you could use. Darnell Mooney with the Falcons, taking on the Dolphins. At least it's a good matchup. Mooney has been a little bit better than Tutu Atwell this season, but it's not like he's been great. It's just a good matchup for him and an opportunity for him to play. And then both the receivers for the Broncos, there's Marvin Mims and there's Troy Franklin. Franklin's been playing more lately, but he started to make some mistakes. And I wonder if this Broncos coaching staff is going to pivot to Marvin Mims and give him a little bit more target volume and a little bit less for Troy Franklin. They're playing against Dallas. That Cowboys defense is still a mess, especially in the secondary. They're not getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. I love a lot of elements of this Denver offense. We saw them really break out in the fourth quarter last week. Marvin Mims was a big reason why. He had an awesome fourth quarter. I wonder if he gets rewarded for that this week against Dallas. So I kind of like him a little bit more than Troy Franklin. We've gone to the Troy Franklin well a number of times already this year. We've been burned by it. I don't want to get burned by it again. If you can't get your hands on any of those guys, look for Xavier Leggett. Look for Josh Reynolds, although that's kind of gross to go with any Jets player.
I got to get Josh Reynolds. This is what I got to do.
Well, I mean, I don't even know if Josh Reynolds' parents are going to get Josh Reynolds. Chris Moore is another name to look at with the Commanders. Does seem to get some decent target volume. Commanders are probably going to have to play from behind against the Chiefs. He seems to be their number one target getter.
Okay, Chris Moore with the Commanders.
Mm-hmm. And he's not exciting. He's just a guy who's going to get a decent amount of targets. He's physical, so he can win on contested catches and stuff like that. But he's not going to – I'd be surprised if he breaks away for a long touchdown or anything like that. Maybe a red zone touchdown.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to go with Reynolds and Moore.
Yeah.
All right.
Your enthusiasm level is matched by mine on those two players.
Garrett Wilson's not playing, right?
I don't think so. I mean, they haven't closed the door on him yet. And obviously, if he does, then Josh Reynolds is useless.
Okay.
And Reynolds might be useless anyway.
Well, good. Well, you speak very highly of these guys. I appreciate it. All right, go ahead.
Dave, we've been talking this week about the Patriots matchup against Cleveland on Sunday, and as you know, this team is now sitting at 5-2, and you start to get big-eyed. You start thinking about what their overall record could be in playoffs, but that one game that lurks for every team every season, losing to a team they probably shouldn't lose to. Could this be the game for the Patriots this weekend, home against the Browns?
I wouldn't say that this is the game that they would lose to. I would look at, maybe the game at Tampa in a couple weeks.
Well, but that's a game I could easily conceive of them losing.
I get what you're saying.
If they play their best. Yeah.
Right. Maybe at Cincinnati a couple weeks after that.
Okay.
Maybe the game against Atlanta, although Atlanta, they've run hot and cold all year. I don't know if we can call them a good team or a bad team. I don't know if they know what they are at this point. But I'm leaning into Mike Vrabel's familiarity with the Browns and with Jim Schwartz. We know that Vrabel coached with the Browns last year. He's got to have an inner working of that personnel. And then he's coached with Jim Schwartz all the way back for a couple of years in Tennessee once upon a time. And so I think Vrabel has a pretty good idea of what to expect, and he can kind of tell and prepare Drake May for that. I don't know how the run game's going to do. That's a question I need to solve before kickoff. I don't expect them to be great. I think this Browns run defense is for real. That means that Drake's going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting himself. I can't help but feel encouraged by how he's played this year.
If you're starting to get used to that.
Who would be a wide receiver comp to trade for Jaylen Warren?
Warren's not going to get you a ton in trade. And so I can't say for sure that you're going to get a whole lot for him. Maybe you can try and fleece the Zay Flowers manager, somebody like that. I think even somebody like Chris Olave could be too much for him. I do a trade chart each week, which assigns a value to every player. Jaylen Warren's value, it's right on par with wide receivers like Quentin Johnston, maybe Keenan Allen. I don't even know if those guys would be reasonable in exchange for him in full PPR. You might have to go a step further south. Xavier Worthy, Stephon Diggs, maybe. Guys like that.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, John.
Okay. I want to know what you look at when you look at the Patriots offense. Like, Cleveland is one of the best statistically defenses in the NFL. But if you have them, would you start them against the Patriots offense? Is the Patriots offense that good where you're like, okay, whoever play, stay away from that?
Yeah, I don't want to start the Browns defense if that's what you're asking.
Yes.
Yeah, there are too many other DSTs that I like better than Cleveland, and I think that May deserves the benefit of the doubt. There really isn't a lot of evidence to suggest that he's gotten lucky. Like, if you watch Jackson Dart play, Dart's making plays happen. There's no question about it, but he's had a little bit of luck on his side. The one touchdown last week off of a tip that just lands in the hands of his tight end who runs 40 yards for a touchdown. Like, that stuff, that's a little fluky. I don't know how much fluky stuff is happening in New England, especially considering that the run game hasn't been steady all year long. The offensive line is good. It's not amazing. It's improved, obviously, and that's been a helpful thing for the Patriots. I think Drake May has earned it, and I love that they're doing it in different ways every single week. One week it's Kayshon Boutte and Demario Douglas. The week before that, it's Stephon Diggs having a monster game. Diggs comes back 2 weeks later. He has a good game. So they're able to vary how they can operate, And I think they'll continue to do that moving forward, even against a tough defense like Cleveland. But I don't want to take the chance on Cleveland laying an egg because they give up 24 points and only sack Drake May once or twice.
All right, let's go to the calls. Jake, go ahead.
Hey, Dave. Quick question. I have 3 RBs for one spot and 2 Patriots for one flex spot. So I hate Merritt against Kansas City, but he is the lead guy. Or I have Tony Pollard on the dreadful, dreadful Titans. And then against Cleveland, I have Diggs or Booty. And where I think Myles Garrett's going to be wrecking havoc, Diggs is obviously a good short option, but that lingers with that consistent just one, 70-yard, one touchdown Booty pick. So what are your thoughts on those 2 guys for those slots?
Let me ease your fears about passing over Booty for Diggs. When Drake May sees man coverage, the target per route run rate, meaning the percentage of targets that a receiver gets based on the number of route he has against that specific coverage, is the highest for Stephon Diggs and the lowest for Booty. And that makes me encouraged that Stephon Diggs, when the Browns play man coverage, and they're going to play a lot of man coverage, that's going to see a lot of targets go Diggs' way. And so based on that type of data that I look at, that I believe in, that I think fantasy managers should buy into, I think Stephon Diggs will have the better day than Kayshon Boutte. Both your running backs stink. I'm sorry to tell you that. If you can get Tyler Algier, I'd probably start Algier over both of them against the Dolphins this week. But if you have to start one, I would lean toward Krosky Merritt. Pollard's kind of sort of being phased out. He's already seen his workload scaled back in Tennessee. But when they're trailing, especially in the fourth quarter, it's almost all Tyjae Spears, very little bit of Tony Pollard.
Well, Algier if that guy doesn't have a good game.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun here. Hey, I lied. We can only take one call because Dave he gives the people their money's worth. He gives them their money's worth. That you have to give them. Dave, you're the best on social media at Dave Richard, YouTube, Fantasy Football Today, CBS Sportsbook Network also has got the Fantasy Football Today. Dave, thank you so much as always.
Fred, tell everybody listening, I'll go on X for a few minutes and answer questions there, but you've got to make a reference to the show when you ask me a question in order for it to get answered.
All right, so if you go at Dave Richard on X, you have to put you have to tag at Toucher and
Something
Hardy.
about the show. Don't just tag Toucher.
No, you got
to
tag it. No, I'm just kidding. I could care less about X.
Toucher
No, you don't have to tag us.
Something else.
Yeah,
something else about the show.
Yeah, maybe about me being great or something. Throw that in there.
Yeah,
for Dave.
I'm skipping over everybody that doesn't do that. Next 5-10 minutes, I'll help everybody.
All right, so Dave's going to be up on X. Thanks, Dave. We appreciate it.
You got it. Good luck this week.
All right, appreciate it. Here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics lost their regular season opener last night, 117-116 to Philadelphia at TD Garden. Next up, the Knicks at Madison Square Garden tomorrow night. Former Celtic and current Miami guard Terry Rozier and Portland Trailblazers head coach and Basketball Hall of Famer Chauncey Billups have both been arrested this morning. This is part of an FBI illegal sports betting probe. There's a press conference on the way at 10 a.m. this morning. Bruins play at TD Garden tonight against Anaheim. Ryan Johnston and Ken Hodge have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Bruins have lost 5 in a row, and the Patriots play Cleveland and Foxborough Sunday. They were without Craig Woodson and Elijah Ponder at practice yesterday. Sports Hub headlines are powered by Oakhurst Technologies. A winning playbook is the key to success, and when it comes to your company's technology, the Oakhurst playbook has been unstoppable for over 100 years. So get future ready with Oakhurst, proud partner of your New England Patriots. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
We're Toucher and Hardy, and since we've been on the air, it's been announced that at 10 a.m. the FBI is going to announce a gambling sting that they have executed. And we know who already has been arrested, John.
Two guys with actual Celtic connections, honestly. One of them is Terry Rozier, who currently plays for the Miami Heat. He did not play last night. The Heat played in Orlando. He has been arrested, and current NBA head coach and Basketball Hall of Famer Chauncey Billups, who just coached a game last night out on the West Coast against Minnesota, both were arrested this morning by the FBI, and this is in connection with an investigation into illegal gambling.
What was the spread on that game against the Timberwolves? They pounced on it right away.
Apparently, according to NBC correspondent Tom Winter, the charges against Billups are not related to games he coached in. I don't know what all of this means. What I do know is the FBI director is going to be the point man on this press conference in a little over an hour.
And you rarely see him anymore. A rare appearance from Cash Patel.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So Cash Patel will be at this press
How many
conference.
former FBI directors can you name?
I was just going to say the same thing. We all know who Cash Patel is. For the first time in history, we all, maybe since J. Edgar Hoover, we're all aware of who the director of the FBI is.
Yeah.
So this is a full-blown, big-time problem for the NBA. Malik Beasley, who is a player, I believe he's in Minnesota now. The NBA was already investigating him for gambling on games, and apparently he may or may not be part of this as well. This is a full-blown disaster for the NBA.
There's no explanation. There's no reasoning. There's no way of justifying this. Because your first thought is, my first thought is, what were you thinking? What were you doing? There's nothing. There's no ambiguity about what these guys can do and can't do when it comes to gambling. You can't gamble on games. You're not allowed to. You just don't do it. So any way that any kind of involvement is totally on them. Is it like sickness? Has he been, just dealing with a gambling addiction for years and years and years? Because otherwise, there's no way to justify it. There's no way to explain it in your mind.
Well, if it's an FBI thing that, is involving players and it's like this whole bust where they've obviously been investigating it for a long time, it doesn't sound like something where someone's a compulsive gambler. It sounds like something where there was a network of people doing something. Like this seems like there's a lot of people connected to one thing and that they were working in tandem. Now, I don't know what it is, and that's just speculation, but I just think it would be random if the FBI was like, yeah, we're arresting numerous people, having one press conference about it, and it's like Operation We Caught You Gambling. Doesn't it sound like you would assume that if it's a federal thing, that it's like some RICO situation, like where they're, people are tied together or something like that. Or it's a, like a executed as a group, like it's a scam or something that had many layers and people involved in it.
So the FBI will hold a press conference at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and we'll get some clarity.
Yeah, Zolak and Bertrand will be running that live.
Sure.
As is they're the C-SPAN usually.
Right.
And then they will have several, well, no, Congress isn't in session, I was going to say. That I don't know how they're going to fill the time now that they can't just go to congressional votes. Is what they normally hang on to. But that will be interesting. I mean, is there any information that's leaking out about this other than the people that have been arrested?
No.
And then it's about gambling?
No. That's it for now. I'm sure we'll get more as we get closer to 10 o'clock. But again, this is the worst nightmare for any big sport like this. And, the NFL has done its best to kind of curtail that. But, I mean, you had, a Toronto G League player get banned for life last year. I mean, this is...
Okay, so this has come out. Members and associates of organized crime groups are among the couple of dozen expected to face criminal charges in two separate illegally gambling-related cases. So it is an organized crime, but that doesn't mean like organized crime syndicate. Organized crime is exactly that, is that it's an organized crime, which is what we were speculating upon. Well, it will be interesting. John, after all, I'm surprised you haven't been involved because you call a game or two of the Celtics every year. Surprised you haven't caught wind of this. Do you know more than you're saying?
You watch all the preseason games.
Sure, I should have known better.
Did anything seem queer to you as you were watching the preseason games? Did any of the outcomes seem in doubt?
Chauncey Billups made almost $107 million as a player, and he's making almost $5 million a year. He just signed a contract extension in April.
I think it's you get in a hole, and it's
how big. How big is his hole?
Well, but it's not just about having the money to cover it. It's also, first of all, who knows if they're even in a hole? Maybe they had a chance to make a lot of money, and they figured that there was very little downside. But from what I know about people that get into this trouble with organized crime that are rich, it's okay. Do you want to give us $20 million, or do you want to do this, which saves you the $20 million, right? Like if you get into a huge gambling hole, and I know people that have gotten hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in the hole in gambling, and they're not worth $110 million. So if that's possible, there's obviously people that get millions and millions and millions.
So you just described the Phil Mickelson situation where he owed apparently like $1 million to his buddy Billy Walters for betting on the golf course. And Billy Walters said, look, we're buddies. I don't want you owe me $1 million. You lost. But I got this stock tip from this buddy, and you can make $1 million in like 3 weeks, and then just give me that. And Phil said, okay. And when they asked him about it, Phil said, yeah, he told me to do it. Him and the other guy, send them to prison, which they did.
All right, this from ABC News. Billups has been charged in an illegal poker operation tied to the mafia.
Oh, who cares?
Yeah, that doesn't seem
That's
like
not
that.
gambling.
Rozier arrested in a separate but related betting case.
Oh, please.
Well, then you're wasting everyone's time.
Yeah.
I mean, we all loved rounders. Beat the Russian guy, you get all the money.
KGB.
Yeah,
That's right. All right.
they need
One of
to
the
be-
great scenes in movie history, in my opinion. All right, we'll be back. Phil Perry will be with us.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sport. presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics opened up their regular season with a loss last night, 117-116 to Philadelphia at TD Garden. The Sixers ripped off a 15-2 run late in the fourth quarter to take the lead. Peyton Pritchard missed a pair of shots in the final 5 seconds. Tyrese Maxey, 40 points for the winners. Celtics visit the New York Knicks tomorrow night. Former Celtic and current Miami guard Terry Rozier and current Portland head coach and Basketball Hall of Famer Chauncey Billups have both been arrested this morning as part of an FBI illegal sports betting investigation. ABC News is reporting at this hour Billups was part of an illegal poker operation tied to the mafia. Rozier is facing a separate but similar charge. A press conference with the FBI is scheduled an hour from now. Bruins will try to snap a 5-game losing streak tonight when they face Anaheim at TD Garden. Ryan Johnston and Ken Hodge have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. And the Patriots are without Craig Woodson and Elijah Ponder at practice yesterday. They got a home game coming up Sunday against Cleveland. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by South Shore Bank. At Beatles Bank, sharing your success and growing your business is what above and beyond banking is all about. Visit SouthShoreBank.com, member FDIC, member DIF, equal housing lender. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Here's Pasternak, high slot. Right circle to Zaka. Sends one across. McAvoy shot, and he scored!
The Bruins play here. Why do people listen to Toucher and Hodge?
Because it's a thing.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
Yeah, they're really good. They got one of the best players in football. There's some young guys that are real good. Play some man. They play tight coverage. They're probably one of the best cornerback duos we'll see. They do mix up.
It's boring if I'm a fan.
Yeah.
It's just I don't care. It's like I hear his voice and I want to turn the station.
Yeah, Fred, yeah. Yeah.
No, you play the quarterback coming in and out of break, but it's just so boring. I mean,
he's got that verbal tick where he says yeah before every answer.
You know what, dude? People say that. I can't even pay attention enough to him to hear him do that.
But I'm just wondering, Phil Perry's here. Phil, I mean, does that really kind of annoy you after all this time because he says yeah after every question you ask him?
No, I think we've all gotten used to it. That's fine. All these guys have their different verbal ticks. Some of the funniest ones are when you ask somebody like the first question in a press conference, and some guys had the verbal tick of the first word out of their mouth for some reason being again. And it'll be like, we just started the conversation. What do you mean again? You're acting like I'm being repetitive. You're just
right, because that's like almost an attack word, like you're being
right.
a dick. Like again,
it's like a little confrontational.
And you're like, well, no.
No, I'm not being stupid here. That was pretty legitimate question.
And we might have talked 2 weeks ago, my friend, but this is not again.
What's happened between then?
And a lot of them go, who, me? And then you have to answer again. Hey, that was a Beetlejuice reference, but he's not paying attention. We started an interview. All right, so
I can't catch all your references, Fred. They come rapid fire.
It's like drinking out of a fire hose.
I check out of interviews too. Believe me, I do.
Yeah. Are you being interviewed right now?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I feel like I'm with my friends having a conversation.
The mics are live and we're talking to an audience. Phil Perry, of course, is in here from NBC Sports Boston. You know what?
Locked in. Go.
You're in. I'm not busting your balls. Inspirational is what he is. You know why? You were whatever it came up. He was talking about working out the other day.
Oh, I thought it was the shoelace thing.
Oh no, that I wouldn't get into his business like that on the air. Not his private life.
Jeez, come on.
I wouldn't get into his private life.
There's got to be a line somewhere.
So he's talking about like the gym, and he talked about how he can do pull-ups. It not only just pull-ups, but he can do pull-ups holding a weight between his legs.
Because he's bored.
And this might have been a couple weeks ago. It might have been last week. Whatever it was. Since then, pull-up crazy I've gone.
Really?
I want to be able to do pull-ups.
Okay.
Now, Hardy is in my head, too, because Hardy said he won't use the assisted pull-up machine because he says it makes him look weak. I figure, look at me. No one thinks I'm strong. I really do. Like, and I'm not being self-deprecating. Like, I got skinny arms and stuff. Like, no one thinks I'm strong as it is. Less and less weight required. Now I'm just 150 pounds I need to get up. I mean, now I can use the machine because the max I can, But it's getting less and less. The goal, I have a physical fitness goal. I've already conquered this 5K. The JCC's got one around the corner. I'm thinking about running that one too. Don't ask about that because that is between me and my personal goals.
Now, was your time at the Jolly Jack Fun Run good enough to qualify for the JCC 5K? Because they don't just let anyone into
It's
that.
part of a circuit. You got to, this isn't the big JCC run. I mean,
Oh, okay.
You have to accumulate
but
points.
but the money also goes to the JCC. So
Yeah.
even if I don't show, I feel good about myself. But Phil, pull-ups.
Love it.
In fact, I'm a little tender today because I really had at it yesterday. Less assistance than usual. And I don't care. If people can, and a lot of people come up to me at the gym, not in the sauna, which if you're talking across the sauna, I think it's a gay hookup. You agree?
I've never done the sauna thing.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah. The cold
no
plunge.
experience there.
We don't have that problem in the cold plunge because very few people go in because let's just say it's not a picnic. But in the sauna, crosstalk in a sauna, crosstalk, not talking to the guy next to you, the guy like below you, crosstalk across the sauna. I'm assuming this is a gay hookup, but you are inspiring. Can you guys do pull-ups?
I would say you're inspiring. The fact that you're already seeing some progress. This was like 2 weeks maybe.
I was working.
Pull-up action.
I
for
was
you?
working at a very. This is when someone's 400 pounds and they lose like 20 pounds, you're like, congrats. Like like what did you do? Like you missed one potato chip binge. Like this was. I was starting really from nowhere, so I could only have gotten stronger.
So
all progress is good progress.
I agree.
I'm proud of you,
John. You weigh next to nothing. You could do a pull up. I mean, a lot of it is how much weight do you have to pull up. You could do a pull up.
I can do one pull-up, but I have not been in the gym in about a month after wrestling with my son. Wrecked my
You can do
shoulder.
a pull-up?
I could.
An overhand pull-up?
Yes, like this.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yes.
Oh,
One.
interesting.
Not a ton. I'm not in Phil Perry
I mean,
territory.
I haven't tried one in so many years. I don't know if I could do one or not. Now, do you ever do chin-ups with your palms facing toward you?
Yeah, sure.
Because
I'll do all sorts of
biceps, right?
well, I don't even know what the differences are, but the handle is shaped in such a way that it's just sort of encouraging you to try the
So you
different
do the one where
grips.
your fingers like face each other
Yeah,
too?
I think they call that one the neutral.
The neutral
Yeah, the
pull-up.
neutral.
Well, I do
neutral
those
pull-up.
Clubber Lang style. I
Neutral
put
grip.
2 pieces of rope around an overhead beam.
Right.
And I
That.
pull myself up
Yep.
like that.
You
have to
working
do
the-
that
You're working the
shirtless.
grip there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Not just
All that
the
stuff.
back.
Speaking of Rocky, when I interviewed Sylvester Stallone years ago, he was in a great physical shape if you don't count moving.
Yeah, it's true.
He was like ripped, but he couldn't shake your hand. And he was a great guy. And I'm not speaking ill of him, but it was like he had been through the ringer. Like he was not moving well. And this was 15 years ago.
Someone told me to watch Tulsa King, and I had started it but stopped, but I went back in, and the last flight I was on, they had the first few episodes, so I started watching it. The premise is so freaking stupid. Like 30 minutes into the first episode, I said, I can't believe people watch this and allow themselves to be somehow drawn into this. I mean, it's not terrible, but if you lose me in, let's say, the first half an hour because he goes into Tulsa, big spoiler alert, walks into a legal weed shop and demands that they give him $5,000 a week, and they say okay. I'm like, well, this is dumb.
Yeah.
And no,
He's got a crew, and he's earning money inside of about 35 minutes.
Yeah, it's
upon arrival in Tulsa.
Stop it. I can't do it.
In New York City, at least it used to be, someone would come by and they would say, you need trash pickup. And you would go, I don't think so. And they go, you need trash pickup.
Right.
And then you would go, oh, yeah, I need trash pickup. And then you'd never see the guy again. You just send the money.
Right.
And they'd pick up your trash. But it was just you were going to do your contract with that specific individual because he was the one who did the trash pickup on that block. And you were not going to get another trash guy. I'm told it's not even like bad. It's like good trash pickup, but they just there's not a
it's good extortion.
It's like, well, no, but I've been told it's not even bad. Like you just like, okay, yeah,
This
I'll
is
get
my
it.
block.
Yeah,
You happen to be here.
and then you pay them, and then
Yeah.
like you literally never see them again. They're just like, okay, and then they're gone. And I mean, it's just the price of doing business. I told you my dad's friend had a restaurant in Greektown, Detroit, back in the 80s. It burned down, and he goes, okay. He builds it up again. And wouldn't you know it burned down right away again. And he thought, maybe something's going on. Maybe they don't want me here. Is perhaps what's going. None of the other restaurants burned down.
Just his.
And they're all attached. But somehow it was a controlled fire that only burned his down. Couldn't quite figure. Cops couldn't figure it out, too. They had a little trouble figuring out how that whole thing started. That's the fire they couldn't figure out. Anyway, Phil. I want to get into Cleveland in that matchup coming up in the next breaks. We are fortunate enough to have you for 2 breaks. But the running game, it was effective. It's been very bad, but it was effective last week. What did you see?
I think the question is it here to stay?
Yes.
Was that for real? Because Tennessee is one of the worst run defenses in football. And, there were some things that they were doing schematically that I think made it a little bit easier for the Patriots to run. And that's to the Patriots' benefit. I think some of the things they were doing early, if you watch, they had an extra safety out of the box. So the Patriots have seen a lot of single high safety coverage over the vast majority of this season. The numbers game in terms of trying to run the football against those looks can be really difficult, and it was for the Patriots. But I think what happened in Tennessee, at least to start that game, was Drake May's been playing so damn well. They said, okay, finally a Patriots opponent said, I guess we have to pull this extra body out of the box, even though we don't love the receivers they have. The quarterback's so good, he's making the receivers good. And so we'll play an extra safety deep, and we'll try to defend the pass first. And that made it a little bit easier for them to run the ball, especially early in the game.
One fewer guy in that box that you have to worry about.
And to piggyback off of that, you made the statement, the receivers aren't that good. One of the things that's been interesting this season is development of Kayshon Boutte. People that cover the team that we've talked to have said they haven't in their coverage seen a guy develop this much. And whether or not that's true, it's just a statement to how much he's developed. What is his? You talk about him being overrated. What do you think Kayshon Boutte's ceiling is as a receiver on a good team, like with strong receiving talent?
Well, I want to be clear. I think what was happening early in the season was opponents not really respecting their receivers.
Yeah.
So for Boutte, I think Boutte could be a number 2 on a legitimate pro caliber NFL offense, which to me is sort of what he is right now. But in terms of even the targets that he's getting, he probably could stand to get a few more. He's been so efficient, though, and just about everything he catches either goes for a first down or a touchdown. I mean, it's been pretty remarkable, the leaps that he's made. And it's both, from talking to people in the organization, it's both professionally and personally. Like, everybody knew he had a lot of growing up to do when he showed up, and he was a 6th-round pick, and he probably should have been a higher pick than that, but he had a lot of, football character concerns, I think it's safe to say, in that draft that year. But he's still a young guy. He's younger, I believe, than both. These guys aren't with the team anymore, but Javon Baker and Jalen Polk. So he came to the league young, needed to grow up. He has, and it's paid dividends.
Is it going to be tougher on him this week if the Patriots have to take one of their tight ends to help out Will Campbell on the left side? Because that
I think the word is when they have an extra tight end to help Will Campbell on the left
So
side.
when the Patriots take one of their tight ends to help out Will Campbell over on the left, is it going to make it tougher on Boutte and everyone else who's trying to get open because there's one less receiver out there for the Cleveland defenders to worry about?
Yeah, that's the catch-22. Like, it's great to keep guys in and help with the protection, but if the quarterback has to pat the ball because there's only 2 guys in the route and they're both covered, those guys, even if there are extra bodies in the protection, those guys can only protect so long. So that's something that Josh McDaniels is going to have to play around with, and he's going to have to mix it up and change speeds, to use a baseball term. But, I think he will. He has done that. McDaniels has. Myles Garrett is such a monster that, to me, I think maybe the most interesting matchup in this game is not anything Browns versus Patriots. It's basically Drake May against his own instincts, which is to be that big game hunter and that aggressive down the field thrower. The Browns are the second best team in the league at forcing quarterbacks to throw the ball quickly. So it's about 2.6 seconds on average. Opposing quarterbacks have to get the ball out of their hands against the Browns because their pass rush is so good. And it's not just Myles Garrett. They've got a variety of different guys they can send to quarterbacks. So can Drake May sort of tamp down that want to to throw that deep ball and be that aggressive playmaker that he's been and take those checkdowns. He actually said after the game the other day, I don't want to be a checkdown Charlie, which I love, and I think fans love, and it's fun to watch. But this might be the week where you have to be a little bit more of a checkdown Charlie. I'm interested to see if he can actually do it.
We've spent a lot of time talking about the receivers. Are the receivers really getting that much better, or is it the quarterback just going nuts here at the beginning of the season and making him look that way?
Well, I think, to use the Booty example, he's gotten much better just knowing what to do, right? Just aligning properly, running the right routes, being where the quarterback expects him to be all the time. So I do give him credit on that front. I think Stephon Diggs is much better now than he was in training camp. So he's gotten better. He obviously has helped, especially in those critical downs, in those situations, 3rd and 4th down. It feels like they go to him every time, and he comes through. So I think there has been some improvement there, but you're right. There's a symbiotic relationship. If it was Mac Jones or it was Cam Newton, would these guys be looking the way they look? Of course not. So, you have to be able to do the right things. The quarterback has to be able to trust you. So that's on you as a receiver. But Drake May's doing things, especially, again, when he throws down the field. I mean, you guys probably remember, but that throw down the left sideline to Stephon Diggs, I think it was in the 3rd quarter last week, where he's just right along the sideline. Drake May couldn't have handed it to him any more accurately.
Ball to Matt Collins, too. Same thing.
The throw to Matt Collins, the throw to Booty with, where he's getting hit in the face and Will Campbell's getting driven into his lap. I mean, he's doing a lot of things to help these guys be as productive as they've been.
The timing on those routes, is it easier than what they're trying to do with Pop Douglas right now? Because there seems to be timing issues going on right there.
And he made a great play. I thought that was more on Drake May than it was on Pop Douglas, the almost incompletion on 4th down, where Pop Douglas has to reach back and catch it. Sometimes you'll see a quarterback sort of throw it behind the receiver because he's expecting him to settle down, or he's trying to protect him from a hit that's coming the other way. There was really nobody.
No, he saved his ass.
Douglas saved
his ass. Yeah,
I mean, it was right after May got back in the game after slamming his head on the
There
turf.
were 2 guys that it would have hit one of them in the stomach. I mean, that was, if I'm recalling it correctly, when he reached back and got that ball, just getting a hand on it did him a favor.
It was great, but, we're talking about the symbiotic relationship here. Thank you, Phil. And is it?
I wasn't paying attention.
Is it all on Drake, or is there something just going on with the timing with these two where it's not at the level that we've seen with a couple of the other receivers?
I think there are times, and there have been times, where there is some confusion with May and Douglas. Okay, especially against zone, and the Patriots have seen a lot of zone this year because they want to keep eyes on Drake May. Defenders want to keep eyes on Drake May in case he breaks the pocket and starts to run. Zone is the better thing to do against those types of quarterbacks, generally speaking. So if you see a lot of zone and Pop Douglas is playing that traditional slot receiver role for Josh McDaniels, you've got to be really on top of it in terms of what you're seeing, where to settle down in the soft spot, when to keep running. And it feels like those types of plays haven't always gone well for Douglas. To me, and I wonder if they'll do this week. Again, it's probably just based on the Browns' pass rush. It's not going to be a great down-the-field throwing kind of day for the Patriots. But if I'm Josh McDaniels, I would much rather just try to use Douglas not as Julian Edelman or Danny Amendola or Wes Welker or Troy Brown, but use him as somebody who can threaten the deep part of the field. He's small, which I get, so he's not your traditional X. He's not Calvin Johnson. But he ran a 4.4 coming out of Liberty, and he's got enough speed to be able to stress a safety, which not a lot of guys on this team do. Even though Kayshon Boutte's been really productive down the field, he's not a speed guy down the field. And so I would try to use him like a Tyler Lockett or a T.Y. Hilton. Like, these guys were undersized burners that really put stress on the deep part of the field for opposing defenses. So if you're lacking that, or you thought Kyle Williams would be that and he really hasn't been yet, why not try Pop Douglas in that role and just send him long and see if you can leverage Drake May's strengths that way, because he's been through 7 games. He's been the best deep ball thrower in football.
Let's get to Kyle Williams coming up. We can kind of do a state of the rookies as we in the next. That sounds like a lot of fun. By the time Phil gets in here, we've done 4 days of Patriots. You got to spice it up. It's like banging your wife, You've been in there so many times. You got to really think of something. Well, yeah, can I dress up as a Dutch boy and come in with a can of paint?
You're not married anymore. That's correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel bad about my divorce, so I want to make everyone feel bad about me. All right, we'll be back in I'm just playing. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Yeah, Miles Garrett. Yeah, He's one of the best players in the league, and somebody you got to know when where he's at, and it's a lot of credit to him. He plays hard, and he's disruptive, and he's good in the run game and the pass game, and it's going to be a tough challenge.
All right. We are Toucher and Hardy. Listen at the end of this segment for your chance to win tickets to see the Patriots at Gillette this Sunday as they take on Cleveland. We're not giving away trips to Cincinnati to see the 0-7 Jets against the Cincinnati Bengals. That, my friends, is just I don't mean to rub it in everyone's face, but that's what I'll be doing.
Where are your seats?
They are on the 40 in row 25.
All I'm saying is by the second quarter, you're going to be able to move down from wherever you are.
If I move down, they'll be worse.
Oh,
so
right.
Yeah, if I move down, then I'm looking at the backs of the guys.
Well,
at
if
the
you're
bench.
on the 40, that's good. I mean,
Yes.
you want to be at the 40. You don't want to be at midfield.
I found tickets for with fees $200 apiece, so that's what I did.
Okay.
I didn't want to necessarily play around, and you got to wait. Usually, you wait. You got to wait, and if you wait the day of the game, usually, but that's a little dicey because people can dig in their heels.
Mm-hmm.
The day before the game is generally on the secondary market when to get tickets. That's my advice to everyone. It worked for Hardy and I.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hardy, a rare vote of confidence from Hardy.
No, I was real skeptical about those Lions playoff tickets, and you waited until what was it, 2 days before?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got probably, I would say, top 3 best seats I've ever had to a sporting event.
And we got them for like $1,000 less than it would have been if we bought them a week before that.
Nice.
We were 50-yard line, row 24.
Yeah, I mean, they were tremendous seats.
Yeah.
But
and a great game.
It was a good game. A lot of scoring. The Lions didn't
Just
have
because you hit your over in the first half.
Now, give Fred credit. He pounded the over all week. He was like, this is it. This game's going over.
He pounded it at the casino with his hard-earned dollars. I mean, it was he put his money where his mouth was.
Yeah, that's the biggest bet I've ever made in my life.
So Cincinnati, Phil, you've been to Cincinnati. Where do you go when you go to Cincinnati?
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I think I've only been once. I don't go
loser.
anywhere. Yeah, I don't go anywhere.
Yeah,
I get in late Saturday.
Some of us
I
are.
order food. I get up.
Skyline
I
Chili.
go to the game.
Have to
It's
go
a
to
1
Skyline
o'clock
Chili.
game in all likelihood. I go to the game in the morning, and then after the game I leave, and I try to get an 8 o'clock flight out. Boom.
I have an 8 o'clock flight out, and I'm sure with TSA and the federal shutdown that it's all going to go smoothly.
What's the most interesting thing about Cincinnati that you could go see?
You can walk to the stadium. Cincinnati's fine.
No, I actually like the convenience of it.
I to be honest with you, I don't know. I've been there a few times. I was there once for a wedding. It's not like, I mean, it is what it is, but it's downtown. It's not a downtown like Jacksonville that like clears out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can eat. I get in at I'll get to my hotel at 7 on Saturday. Mile and I will go out to eat. There's places we can walk to eat. We'll eat, go to sleep, wake up, go to the game. Then there'll be a place to catch some of the 4 o'clock games before we have to go to the airport. That's all you can ask for. A downtown stadium. I don't care. And I'm not going to fly to California, even though there's no downtown stadiums there. I'm not going to fly to California, but anything around here, relatively with a downtown stadium, except the people of Indianapolis Indianapolis that go to those games suck. I had this lady yell at me.
And by the way, Fred, I flew 2 weekends ago. The TSA was fine.
I flew 2 weekends ago too, but
Yeah.
that was at the beginning of the shutdown. I'm hoping you're right. Indianapolis, I had a lady. She was going. She was a real. What do you call them there? I can't say that. And she was like, you're swearing, which was ludicrous. Like, we weren't yelling or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, you're swearing, and turns around and flicks us off. She's like, there are kids here. So she flicks us off like they're blind. Like, what are you more likely to hear someone mumble a swear, or you gesticulating all over the place, you moron hick? Ugh, the people there. Tampa and Indianapolis, real heathens. All right. Notice they were all gap mouth staring at the hotel that we were staying at. Media day, you saw it. when those slack-jawed yokels were sitting around that like waiting for someone to walk in. Oh, Golden Tate, yay! Like, oh wow, real. You take off the whole day, huh? To just stand in the parking lot and go, like watch people that come in. Ugh, gross. Anyway,
good times.
I saw a guy. I threw up on the way into a Cincinnati game. I got a nice ovation.
Oh.
All right, so here we go. Let's go state of the rookie so far. Will Campbell, how has he been looking? How was he? People say not so great last week, but how has he been overall?
Well, overall, I would say he's been good. You know, I think anytime you can look at he's 21 years old, starting left tackle, and say he hasn't been the reason you've lost games, I think that's a good place to start. It's interesting. It sort of depends on where you look. In terms of these grades that different outlets will give offensive linemen, or some of the advanced numbers, some of them would suggest that he's been pretty good. Like Pro Football Focus has him right in the middle of the pack of left tackles. He's like 14th or 15th in every category for them among left tackles. Next Gen Stats I find interesting. I don't think they would say they are as high on Will Campbell. He's got a team high 27 pressures. This is according to Next Gen Stats. And 11 of those pressures have been in under 2.5 seconds. So that qualifies as a quote-unquote quick pressure. So he's in the bottom 10 of the league in terms of allowing quick pressures, according to next-gen stats. So it hasn't been perfect. But I would say based on where you were at that position, based on your need, based on the fact that you've got a young franchise quarterback, I think he's been about what you would have expected, which to me is a win. Can he just be 14th or 15th for the remainder of his rookie season? That to me is good news for the Patriots if that happens.
And then, obviously, with development, you see him raising in the ranks.
Yeah, he should, right? The more he understands what's going on, the more he understands the speed of the game and some of the moves of some of these pass rushers. Now, he's going to see somebody like Myles. Like Myles Garrett plays for the most part, unlike some of the other top pass rushers they've seen, over the left tackle.
Well, they're saying in Cleveland that he's just going to play over the left tackle.
And he probably should, right? It's usually where he plays anyway, so it seems like that's where he's most comfortable. But like Max Crosby, who they saw this year, TJ Watt, these guys usually are on the other side of the line. So Will Campbell didn't have to see those guys a ton. So this is going to be his first big test.
Just philosophically, why is that, Phil? Is it because they want to exploit a mismatch? If you've got one guy who's clearly better than the other when it comes to the edge rush, you're going to put him up against presumably the weaker side of the offensive line to try and get more pressure on the quarterback more consistently?
That could be part of it. I think, honestly, it's the comfort level of the rushers themselves. They just feel like whatever, it's like being a righty or a lefty. There are some guys that play tackle that can't play tackle on one side versus the other. So are you asking why a defensive player would align on one side?
I wouldn't have thought of that.
I think that's it.
Okay.
And there's probably a lot more that goes into it than I would be able to describe, but like, which hand are you using first to generate contact with the offensive tackle across from you, and what moves do you use off of that? It probably all goes into which side of the line you're playing most often. They have moved Myles Garrett around a little bit, the Browns, and Jim Schwartz, who's the defensive coordinator there. Mike Vrabel's very familiar with him.
Your buddy. No, he sucks.
He's a pretty good defensive coordinator,
he is,
though. And
he's a prick of a human.
And they've gotten a little bit more creative with Garrett, and so you've got to have everybody sort of aware of where he is. One of the things that's really kind of given the Patriots problems all year off and on have been these games and twists and stunts, especially on that left side of the line. So, like, you could see Jared Wilson trying to block Myles Garrett one-on-one if he loops inside, and that, to me, wouldn't be a matchup you're looking to see all that often.
Jared Wilson, who had a lousy week by many accounts last week. I mean, and he's going to have to deal with this problem. A, do you agree he did not play well last week? And B, is he playing hurt?
I think you could argue it was his worst game, and he's been banged up, right? I think he's still wearing a brace on I believe it's his right knee. And he's been banged up earlier this year. I think it's also just rookie growing pains. This is, again, it's speed of the game. Last year he was a center at Georgia. So he's still maybe trying to figure out the guard thing and how to work with a left tackle and how to work with edge defenders that are coming in and looping inside to try to take advantage of you and maybe your lack of length against their length. So he's their guy, though. I don't see, unless it starts to, really come apart at the seams, I don't see them taking him out to play a Ben Brown because they view him as the future or one of the pieces of the future of this offensive line. So I think you got to let these guys work through it to a degree, and they're all, they're fortunate they have a quarterback who can make you look good even if you screw up in protection and can buy himself some time on his own and make some big plays down the field.
All right, you mentioned Kyle Williams as we go through the rookies. Kyle Williams has been he's not even getting targeted.
Right.
What's going on with him?
Well, I think, number one, they've got other guys that are better and playing well right now. Matt Collins, Kayshon Boutte, those are probably the two guys that he would fill in for.
Okay, so Kayshon Boutte's been great. Matt Collins is like a journeyman big receiver. That's not great news for Kyle Williams, I don't think. Matt Collins is a very average receiver, you would say, correct?
Yes. The thing that benefits Matt Collins is, and especially against Kyle Williams, is his size. The way they use him, they will use him either as an X, like on the outside, and run him down the field, and a lot of times you'll hear coaches call these sort of like love of the game routes. He runs a lot of those for the Patriots, which means you're just supposed to run deep and run your ass off and grab the attention of a safety so that somebody else can come in and run underneath you and get open. So he's pretty good at those.
Kyle Williams couldn't be a decoy?
Well, so you could have him do that. No, but where Matt Collins, I think, has really actually been valuable to them has been as a blocker. And I know that sounds weird, but you can do some things with him because he's so big. You put him on the field, the other team has to treat him like a receiver, right? So when you're making your substitutions, all right, we're going to pull a linebacker off, we'll send a corner on. Now you've got 220-pound Matt Collins against a 185-pound corner. And if you want to try to run the ball like they did last week, and I think very first play of the game, Matt Collins was like the guy at the point of attack. He was kind of the guy who opened up the hole there. He gives you that, which Kyle Williams really doesn't. I would say to the positive for Williams, just very quickly, they do have him practicing at all three spots, and it seems like they're willing to use him in all three spots. And that's why I would leave open the door that he does end up contributing for this team. I don't know how much, again, because he's pretty far down on the depth chart right now. But usually when these young guys struggle, it's because they're not grasping it. And if you're not grasping it, Josh McDaniels is not going to have you try to play all three different receiver positions. When he's out there, I think he's doing the right thing. I think Drake May just missed him on a throw high this past week, 2 weeks ago. Drake May's footwork was kind of wonky when he did target him. He targeted him 3 times total last week or 2 weeks ago against the Saints. And one of those, there was a defensive pass interference. So it doesn't look like he's making a whole lot of progress. I understand that, but it wouldn't stun me if he's actually getting it the way it seems like he is. It wouldn't stun me if at some point, whether it's because of injury or something else, he does make contributions to this team.
All right. Well, listen, and we all know about Travion Henderson. We've been over it every week. Phil Perry, thank you for joining us. And if you want to go to the game on Sunday, be caller number 10 of the contest line, 617-931-0985. You'll get a pair of tickets to see the Patriots take on the Browns this Sunday at Gillette Stadium. And that might end up being a close game. So that would be that's a good Browns defense. All right. Who are you texting? What do you got going on over there?
Is it something football related?
Is something breaking?
No, nothing's breaking. No, this is somebody at work. I got to go do a podcast right now.
Oh, you better get to it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's where the money's made.
It's big time. Yeah. Big bucks.
Yeah. Is Haktua
it's a podcast that becomes a TV show. So it's I don't know. Does that raise it on the echelon of podcasts?
Of course
for
it
you?
does.
Yeah.
If it becomes a TV show.
What in that football fix show?
Over here.
That football fix where it was my idea to have you guys in the fix-it uniforms, like wearing overalls behind like a workbench.
Ernie Bach gets involved.
Yeah.
Yes.
This actually is in the old football fix time slot. Fridays at 6:00. The next Pat's podcast every single week. But that show's dead. It's been dead for years.
I know.
Dead for years.
It's a good one.
Sad. R.I.P.
All right. Well, there you go. Phil's off to make one of the. What did we find out? There was 500,000 active podcasts or something like that. 100. He's gonna go do one of them. You won't get lost in that ether.
No.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
East.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Toucher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
See if I get your thoughts on the game.
I hate this team. I was born into this, and I'm not gonna ever.
Out of obligation, will watch the Jet games with me. He felt was very excited the first couple, but now it is a difficult exercise. But it's hard to imagine why, because their owner is so good.
It looks like he's turning around parts of it. You know, it's hard when you have a quarterback with, with a rating that we got. You know, I mean, he has the ability, but something just is not jiving. But if you look at any head coach with a quarterback like that, you're going to see similar results if you go across the league. You have to play consistently at that position, and that's what we're going to try to do. If we can just complete a pass, it would look good. You got to complete some passes. You got to convince them that you can do something.
Yeah, he's not wrong. I know. But okay, so
that is, of course, Woody Johnson talking about Justin Fields.
So in Justin Fields, good for him. I believe did not even know that Woody Johnson said that because he's not on social media, and I actually believe him. I believe that he's been trained since a very young age to be a professional quarterback. It's not working, but I believe part of that would be like literally not reading like the sports or listening to anything about the sports in any fashion. But Woody Johnson was asked about the Jets, and he wanted to give Aaron Glenn, obviously, a vote of approval. And you couldn't just say, this is a work in progress. We believe in Aaron. We believe he's turned the defense around. If you look at the defense from week 1 till now, it's a night and day difference despite injuries. Could have said that. But he had to take a shot at Justin Fields, who, by the way, Tyrod Taylor's got a hyperextended knee, and they don't know, or something wrong with his knee, and they don't even know if he can play. And even if he can play, it's not like he's good. And so Justin Fields is on this team. Now, he's only owed $10 million guaranteed $10 million next year. They're going to cut him, I'd imagine, June 1st. But, what are you going to take a chance? Daniel wasn't going to go back to New York. What's his face from Darnold wasn't going to go back to New York, so they really didn't have any choice. New coach couldn't bring Rodgers back. So what are you going to do?
Will the Jets win a game this season?
Yeah, they'll win a game. Everything's been relatively close except for Buffalo and. They should have won the Denver game.
Dallas they struggle a little bit, right?
Dallas and Buffalo, they got killed. Yeah. Those were turn the channel games.
So we talked about this with Kendra last week. Whenever there's a team, winless through 6-7 weeks, no matter the team, no matter the season, I like to look at that team on the money line. Just start saying that it's difficult to go winless throughout an entire and now 17 game season. So. Last week I didn't like it because they were like plus 120 or something on the money line. I'm like, well, that's not enough to make me want to do it.
Well, they were the favorite in that game, so they should have been minus on that money line.
Yeah, maybe they were plus 110. I think is what it was.
Okay,
but it was barely plus money. Let's see where they are this week. And see if this is where
Sauce Gardner's got a concussion. Not like he's great, but they have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
Plus 250. Okay.
I've lost every NFL bet that I've made this year. Every single one. Wow. Now I don't make a lot.
Also hard to do.
Yeah. I don't make a lot of bets, but I've lost every single bet. Now some of them have been like anytime touchdown guys with long odds that I just put a little bit of money on, and I don't bet a lot of money, but I've lost every single NFL one at the half. It's 6, 7, 8 in a row. And then that became real money. Enough money where I took money out and I was like, hey.
Yeah.
Like I got I got a handful of thousands of dollars here.
Nice.
But so say I've lost $500 this year. Mm-hmm. That's every single bet losing. It's a good thing I don't gamble a lot of money, or else I'd be very broke. That's why I don't tell you what to do with your money unless I'm absolutely sure, like the over in the playoff game last year. Very rare. Once, twice a year, I'll say. Oh, and pound the money line on Vegas in the first game of the season. Those were the two things.
Yeah.
2 bets in the last 2 years I've given
that.
you.
Yes.
And they both hit. But I had the Patriots under wins. I had the Jets over wins. I had, I mean, even my bets before the season are going to tank. I mean, the Patriots are they need one more win to go over the win total. I think they'll win another game. So, yeah, not great for me. And the Jets would have to win 5 games to go over their win total. It was 4.5.
They're going to have to split their last 10.
Yeah, and that's not happening. No. All right.
Fred, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Fred. Good Fred.
Bye. Even though you like John now, and I don't like that. All right. So we'll be back tomorrow.
I like Scruff.
That's a gay app. Yep. That'll do it for